Streamwood to take on Quentin Demps, named the head coach in the offseason, similar to Ted Karras Jr., played in the NFL. But Quentin Demps knows he has his hands full, but give him credit. He's been busy recruiting, and things are looking like they're going in the right direction here at Judson with a new head coach.
Absolutely, Jared. You're looking at an 130-player football program, which by far is the program high. Pretty much a brand new scheme. There's a few players that are still remaining in terms of staying in that offensive and defensive starter unit, but really Quentin Demps did a good job bringing his own identity, bringing his same mantra and energy to the program, but at the same time bringing some new faces to try to be able to become successful as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what exactly Judson does offensively. They were a no-huddle offense under former head coach Dan Paplazik, but they bring back some talent. Derek DeVries and Tyler Silverstrand, both all-conference selections on the left side of the offensive line, and then the All-American Brandon Mackey. You got to think, if you're Quentin Demps, you got to find a way to utilize Mackey early and often in this one today.
Early and often, you'd have to think a top 3 rusher in the NAIA last year. Brandon Mackey is just a workhorse as they come. And it wasn't just him. They've had 3 or 4 different running backs in the system. That their offensive line was really good in the running game. And they just continue to just push forward in the running game. But I'm really excited now with some new offensive pieces to see how the passing game is going to look, right? So that's going to be significant as we move forward here this season.
And I'm curious to see what we see from Marion. This was a defense that allowed under 12 points per game a year ago, 5th in the nation, but a new head coach in Ted Karras and a new OC and DC. Marion is established 9-2, went to the quarterfinals, but the standard is high. It's to compete every year for a national championship. What this defense shows us, well, similar to the Judson offense, we just don't know yet.
We really just don't know, and that's the beauty of week 1. You just never know what's going to happen heading into the first week of the season.
As for the Judson defense, Quentin Demps worked with the safeties a year ago. Now he gets to really build his defense, and it's not going to be an easy task, led by this Marion Knights offense with 2 All-Americans on the offensive line, the tackles, Zach Cibula and Austin Jones. This defense, it looks like it's going to be a 4-2-5, but ultimately we might see a lot of different looks too.
We very much could. I think Coach Demps is working on much more of a administering head coach, and he's letting his coordinators do the heavy duty, right? And he's out has influence involved with it, but trusting his coaching staff to be as successful as possible.
Let's go down to the field right now and honor America with the singing of our national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, over rampart to watch, was a glory streaming, and rockets twinkling, bombs bursting, and I get through.
An excellent job there on the singing of our national anthem. And now we get to see the coin toss. For Marion, they are the visitors on the far side of the field with the blue uniforms in the gold trim. Judson in their home whites and gold helmets. Jared Schlensky alongside Austin Anderson as we get ready to kick off the 2023 season. And before we get to the coin toss, let's get you today's officials. The head referee is Steve McLaughlin. The umpire, Matthew Anertel. the headline judge Brian Feeney, the line judge Chad Rasmussen, side judge David Estelle, field judge Giovanni Morales, and the back judge Brian Peterson. Both teams right now represented by their 4 captains at midfield getting ready for the coin toss. In Austin, you look at Marion, a very tough defense in the past. That's really what they've been known for. And 2 years ago, this offense for Judson was clicking on all cylinders. It'll be interesting to see what each team elects to do if they win the coin toss.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Judson's offense. Selfishly, I'd love to see them get the ball first, but, the good old strategy is to go ahead and defer if you do win the toss to see if you're able to defend and get the ball first. So we'll see what happens here.
Judson's captains are Aiden Edwards, Christian Miller, Joshua Williams, and Brandon Mackey.
Marion's elected to receive. I believe they won the toss and will receive. So Judson will be sending the kicking unit out here momentarily.
And, well, it is Quentin Demp's area of expertise, so to speak. Before becoming the head coach, worked with the safeties, played in the NFL for 10 seasons as a defensive back, and now he gets to send his defense out onto the field first against a Marion Knights offense that was quite efficient a year ago, just under 40 points per game. This team is kind of what Judson is trying to become. People don't realize this, Austin, but Marion was only established in 2007. This isn't like they've been around all that long.
Yeah, in the NAIA specifically, we've seen really a boon of programs being formed really as an enrollment boost strategy, and it's worked for the most part. You think of schools like Lawrence Tech, Indiana Wesleyan, Marion, Judson. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And with that in mind, it gives Judson hope, right? Marion's got about a decade and a half longer of a tenure than Judson. If they can keep the trajectory that they're going, who knows where Judson can be, in the next decade and a half themselves.
Jalen Jennings is on the near side of the field, was an All-American 2 years ago as a return specialist. On the opposite side of him is Pete Crozen. Kicking off for the Judson Eagles is Ian Wiggin, the first-year player from Jamaica. Again, we talked about this recruiting class. They weren't just getting a ton of recruits from outside the United States, but a nice international recruit here in Wiggin.
Yeah, I mean, Judson's got a really significant boost of places that he tend to recruit. Soccer tends to be a sport where they're able to recruit internationally well, and football's tapping into that pool as well.
A hot one today, folks, here at Millennium Field. We got to touch on that, too. 85 degrees here as we get set for kickoff. Not exactly what I was expecting here at the beginning of September, but it is what it is. Wiggins' kick is a good one. Jennings back, and it's off his hands into the end zone for a touchback. And it'll be 1st and 25 for the Knights from their own 25.
Yeah, and that's something that you're keeping an eye on now with modern football. You're seeing these teams get the ball now, the 25 instead of the 20, in hopes of, kind of limiting potential damage with injuries on kickoffs.
And you've seen it take effect to the NFL, too. It's essential that they want the touchback.
100%. Yeah, there's been talks over the years of potentially even just starting without a kickoff, but I think there's too much pageantry in the kicking game for that not to be the case.
B.J. Code in his first season as the offensive coordinator. We'll get to see his offense go to work. However, a late whistle, and we're still going to have to wait for the first play from scrimmage here of the 2023 season. Let's take a look at the starters up front for the Marion Knights on offense. On the offensive line from left to right, it's Austin Jones, Rajon Wells, Connor Young, Quade Pop, and Zach Sibila, the All-American, who did not allow a sack a year ago. Zach Bundalo at quarterback. His running back is Christian Hunter. Receivers, Riley Palmeter, C.J. Young, and the tight end, Drew Byerly.
Yeah, a lot of these college teams doing a lot more secondary players than they used to be in the past, so that'll be something to keep an eye on as well when trying to defend the passing game.
Double tight end set. Bundalo's give goes to Christian Hunter, and he goes nowhere. Stuffed at the line, and it is going to bring up 2nd down and 11. A great start there for the Judson defense.
Yeah, great job by Judson to limit the opportunities there on that play. So, getting early defense, knowing that Marion's going to run the football, that's going to be a significant push of how Judson plays defensively today.
Kader Ali from Houston, Texas, brings down Hunter. 2nd and 11. Give to Hunter, a big hole here. He's past the 35, 40, 45, 50. He's into Judson territory, still on his feet at the 25 before being pushed out of bounds by Ryan Ote. And just like that, 2 plays into this one, and it's already Marion ball inside the Judson 30.
When you play a team like Marion, you know the run game is going to be a factor, right? You know it's going to be a significant portion of their game. So even though you stop them the first time, they're going to keep pounding it, and good things happening so far for the Knights.
Let's see if we'll get to see Marion pass. First time we've seen 3 receivers, 2 to the far, 1 to the near. Bundalo, play fake, clean pocket, over the middle of the field, had a man open, and brought down in a clear pass interference call on Cameron Carter as C.J. Young looked like he had a step on him.
Yeah, that was Young really did have a step on him. Carter just trying to prevent a touchdown from being scored. In that scenario, half distance to the goal, you'll gladly take that trade over a touchdown in that scenario.
If they rule it in the end zone, it could be at the 2. We'll have to see. You might be right. But again, that pass interference call set up on the 48-yard run by Christian Hunter. Give this Marion Knights offense some credit. First play from scrimmage, you're stuffed at the line, then you counter with a big gain, and now another huge chunk via the penalty.
Well, yeah, and especially when you're so dominant on the run, having a good play action is very important. And that leads to a situation where Judson was thinking run, turns into a pass, and now it leads to another first down for the Knights.
And it is not going to be ruled in the end zone, so it's going to be half the distance, and it'll be first down from the Judson 13. Ball on the near side hash. Young split outside, the numbers on the far side. He was Bundalo's intended target. Instead, the give to Hunter, and Hunter rumbles forward for a couple, taken down by Xavier Padilla.
Yeah, Xavier Padilla, a player who has certainly provided a lot of energy to this team. And being a professor on campus, I've had the opportunity to have him in class. Just a lot of energy, a lot of passion. And you see that translate right onto the football field here early on.
Play number 5 of the drive. We have not seen Marion go to the gun one time today. Surprised at all?
No, they're doing well here.
Hunter back on the give. Maybe gets a couple. A good stop on the interior by Malik Rowe. And this defensive line returns some experience led by Josh Mason at nose tackle. And he has started each of the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, and he's has been a force inside for Judson. And bringing in some talent now to kind of round out the edges. It might be an opportunity for Judson's defensive line to make a name for themselves here this season.
Brings up 3rd down and 3. Almost 3 minutes into the game. First time we've seen Marion in the gun. Bundalo, 3-step drop, far side of the field, has a man and has a touchdown. Jalen Jennings for 6. He's known more for a return specialist, but he'll play some receiver, and he gets the touchdown there on a simple out route.
Yeah, and a lot of times we have, good kick returners play in that slot position, and that was a great example of that as you see on this replay. Just knowing his route, a good effort there for the Eagles' Jalen Ware to try to make a tackle, but it turns out to be a Marion score, and they take the early lead.
A really nice throw, too, by Bundalo. Not putting it too far out there, but not throwing it behind. And Marion, they respond. 75 yards, 6 plays, and 6 points. Will it be 7? It will be courtesy of the PAT from Marlon Pomely. We're going to take our first time out here on the Judson Streaming Network. When we return, it'll be Judson to receive. They trail 7-0 in their season opener with 12:13 to go in the first against the against the Marion Knights. 7 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown for the Marion Knights on their first offensive series of the season. They lead 7-0. And now it's Judson's turn to try to get to work on offense. Marlon Pummely set to kick off. A high pooch kick towards the near sideline is hauled in by Jeremiah Malone, and he gets it out to a little bit beyond the 25-yard line, essentially right around where a touchback would be. And now we get to see Judson go to work offensively for the first time under Quentin Demps.
I'm really excited. You start off with a new quarterback in the fray for the Eagles. Aiden Edwards, a player who played for Arkansas Tech most recently, had some time at Missouri S&T. He's a southpaw, and he can move out in the pocket. He can also run, and he has a really good accurate arm. Really excited to see how he complements Brandon Mackey in this offense.
The offensive line, the starting five for Judson from left to right, Derek DeVries and Tyler Silverstrand, both all-conference selections a year ago. Jeremiah Smith, the sophomore center, along with Will Harter and Bryden Miller. Option pitch to Mackey, and Mackey goes nowhere. Good containment on the outside by Marion, and that is going to be a loss. Aiden Edwards, a transfer from Arkansas State. He is the quarterback. Brandon Mackey, an All-American from a year ago, got the touch there on first down. Christian Miller, the converted quarterback, is now the tight end. And the other receivers, Grant Alexander and Alex Siebentz. Second down, Mackey goes nowhere. Good pressure up front by the Marion Knights, led by Joe Apata. Now let's take a look at that starting defense for Marion. Defensive line, they run a 4-3. Dion Pettiford, Joe Apata, Tyler Majors, and Tyler Bucher. The backers, Alex Griffith, Joe Owens, and Jay Sean Underwood. And the defensive backs, Danny Lewis, Nate Fry, Clay Campbell, and Dwight Lewis. Third down and 15 officially for the Judson Eagles.
We'll see what happens here with trips to the left.
Trips to the left, and it looks like we're going to get a lot of man-to-man on the outside. The lefty, in trouble, escapes, still on his feet, extends the play, tries to hit Mackey in the flat, can't get there. Excellent pressure on each 3 plays from this Marion defense, and a 3-and-out by the Knights.
Tyler Bucher was right there on defense. He pretty much right off the snap was right in there on Aiden Edwards, and from there, Edwards did a great job even making something out of it. Even if Mackey caught that ball, it probably would not have been a first down, but a good effort by Judson, but even better defense there by the Marion Knights.
Yeah, we talked about this Knights defense. A new defensive coordinator in Justin Robinson, but a year ago, they allowed under 12 points per game. That was 5th best in the nation. Here comes the punting unit for Judson. And punting for the Eagles is DeQuan Phillips. But we've got a timeout. We will keep it here. Jared Schlensky alongside Austin Anderson. Both teams have had the ball on offense. Marion able to travel 75 yards to the house on their opening series for 6. And Judson, well, not able to do exactly what they wanted, a 3-and-out. But ultimately, the Quentin Demps era, it hasn't gone great, but it hasn't gone terrible.
Yeah, it's you're just getting things started. And again, it's not like they're not Alabama playing North Carolina S&T, right? It's kind of a thing where they're starting off the bat with a very tough, formidable opponent in Marion. Obviously, former national champion, perennial team. So this, again, being able to contain Marion early on, take them a while to get to the goal line, but the fact that they did show some life and promise is very encouraging. The defense they're trying to build up from where they were last year, and there's a lot of room to improve, and so far, we'll see if it continues in that way. There might be some opportunities to continue to improve.
Indeed, and back to return is Jalen Jennings, who has the game's only touchdown. He caught that out route for 6 on the Knights opening series. Phillips now ready to punt, standing just inside of his own goal line, and the lefty with a low line drive bouncer, hauled in by Jennings at the Judson 45, still on his feet past the 40, scampers all the way down inside the 30. You can see why this young man was an All-American 2 years ago. He is shifty.
He is, and going back to the previous setup, it's interesting that Marion calls timeout this early in the half on a 4th down inside Judson's own 15. You wonder either A, maybe they had too many players in the field, didn't count, but maybe they thought Judson might try to do a little razzle-dazzle and get a fake into there. But as of now, Marion has got to like where they're at, the 28 of Judson.
We didn't give you the Judson starting defense on the opening series. Let's give that to you now. Defensive end is Malik Rowe, the junior from Brooklyn, New York. The nose tackle is Josh Mason, a 2-year starter. And the other defensive lineman is James Muteris. First down, Hunter rumbles forward inside the 20. And this is going to set up second and short. The linebackers are Brian Weston, Marlon Hooks, Jay Callentine, and Bryce Fury, who was a starting defensive end a year ago. Defensive backs, Kader Ali and Cameron Carter, they're the corners. The free safety is Jalen Ware, and the strong safety is Ryan Ote. Second down and short. The Knights have been balanced from an under-center shotgun standpoint. They're going back to the guns. Bundelow, with time, hits as he throws it, and nearly intercepted. Excellent pressure on hand by Judson's Jay Callentine. He delivered the hit, and that ball was nearly intercepted. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 3. Marion on top, 7-0 with 10:02 here to go in quarter number 1. Two receivers set to the far. It's a give to Hunter. He's got the first and rumbles forward inside the 15. And an excellent job converting on 3rd and short.
Yes, and Judson, really the first time they were able to get Marion into a 3rd and short situation. Unfortunately for the Eagles, a short run for Marion, able to turn the chains and keep this drive going so far for the Knights.
Austin, this might be the only time we ever get to see 2 former players of the National Football League as head coaches. Ted Karras with Washington, Quentin Demps, a 10-year veteran, played for the Bears. Another give to Hunter. Hunter smashes forward inside the 10. And another solid pickup on 1st down.
Yeah, and as you're mentioning, Jared, you have a lot of former NFL experience here at the field today. It is kind of a rare thing at the NAIA level, but I'm finding that, more and more years go down, people are really understanding, recognizing the value of NAIA athletics in the college sphere. You see a lot of talented players making their way out of that level, and you're finding yourself here in a situation like today.
William Gibson at running back makes the first man miss, but can't escape. And it's going to bring up 3rd down. Good job there by the Judson defense staying stout. And a good stop on hand by Jordan Sorensen.
A good effort there by Sorensen, keeping that opportunity, keeping it within a 3rd down and manageable situation instead of giving up that 1st down. Again, another chance for Marion in a 3rd down situation inside Judson's 20.
And they're going to stick with Gibson at running back. C.J. Young is split outside the numbers on the far side. Give to Gibson. He rumbles forward and should have enough for a 1st down as he spins inside the 5. And you talk about really sinking your teeth into a defense, continuing to pick up these 3rd and manageables.
Yeah, Judson had a clear opportunity with Marlon Hooks working in from the Will side linebacker, trying to get towards the line of scrimmage, but a good job by Marion's fullback to get that key block, and from there, it was easy to get the next few yards.
1st and goal for the Knights. 7:30 to go. Gibson on the give. Gibson is in for 6. He fouls the left side of his offensive line. Austin Jones, Rajon Wells clear the way, and it's 13-0.
A great read as the weak side linebacker was coming in, a little bit of shift to the left and led to that touchdown, and we'll see here momentarily on that replay here. Again, just a good effort running on that left side, breaking through and getting to 6.
13-0 our score. Out to kick the PAT is Marlan Pomeli. Snap is good, the hold is down, and the PAT is through. 14-0 our score with 7:33 to play. We're going to take a timeout here on the Judson Eagles streaming network. Back at Millennium Field, home of the Judson Eagles here on the campus of Streamwood High School. It's Judson trailing the Marianites 14-0 in the season opener. Pomeli to kick off. This one much better than his first kick. Hauled in at the 10 by the far side returner. A little space and out forward to about the 20-yard line is Nigel Bruce, who we saw play quite a bit at running back a year ago. And now the Judson Eagles will go back to work offensively for the second time today. Austin, first time 3 and out. What are you looking to see different here on the second series?
Well, they did a lot of short screens and short passes trying to get the ball ahead. Maybe try a little more ground and pound with Brandon Mackey just to try to get some extra yards here for the Eagles, to get some short yards early in the downs to make third down manageable.
This Marianites defense, that's what they're known for. Allowed under 12 points per game a year ago. First pass dumped out to the flat to Mackey. Mackey out past the 20 to about the 24. Hit hard on the outside by Dwight Lewis. And a nice simple pitch and catch from Aiden Edwards to Brandon Mackey. You can see they want to get Mackey the ball early and often.
Oh, 100%. And right here, you're going to see an opportunity, but then they go for the play fake.
Play fake, back shoulder fade. Siebens, did he hang on to that? I think he did. No signal yet. And he sure did. A perfect ball from the southpaw, Aiden Edwards. He was completely draped by defensive back Danny Lewis. The only spot he could put that was behind him, and he did.
And they did, and they called pass interference on top of that. So the significance of being able to take the contact and be able to make that play is very impressive.
First down for the Judson Eagles. Their biggest gain today is going to set up 1st and 10 from their own 41. Two receivers set to the far, one in the near, pistol formation. Edwards keeps on the option, and he does not get much. A very hard hit again by guess who? Danny Lewis. No, Jay-Sean Underwood, Jay-Sean Underwood with the hit.
Underwood did a great job just breaking free, seeing that tackle and limiting the offensive game for Judson.
Good job on the pull, but an even better job by Underwood staying in his spot. Not much there on second down. Edwards drops back to the far side, has his man, and a little bit more. Here goes Anthony Cathcart, and Cathcart rumbles all the way inside the 5.
What an effort, what a pass, and a great job of getting those yards after the catch, just so important, and it gives the Eagles an opportunity to get into a 1st and goal situation.
Cathcart with a pickup of over 50 yards on the play, and wow, can he scoot.
He's a scooter for sure, and that allows the Eagles to get some good offensive momentum going, and as you can see, it's a 1st and goal opportunity, a chance for Judson to get their first points of the season. Indeed.
They're going to rule this at the 1. Edwards keeps on the option, and he goes nowhere. Stuffed by Tyler Bucher, and they're going to lose yards on this play. That pass, though, officially 55 yards from Edwards to Cathcart. What a start for the freshman Cathcart.
He's looks like he's a promising player for the Eagles.
Second and goal. Cathcart in the slot on the near side. Fade ball to the far sideline. Caught! Did he keep a foot in? He did! Touchdown, Grant Alexander. A perfect throw from Edwards to Alexander. And the Eagles have their first points of the 2023 campaign.
A fade route that works to perfection, and just seeing how the offense is going, Aiden Edwards is a significant upgrade to the quarterback position of last year. Judson gets on the board, and they're right back in this thing.
Indeed, they are. And you talk about mobility and precision. That's what you saw there from Aiden Edwards as Ian Wiggin comes out for the point after. Oh, excuse me, it's going to be Donovan Vences Olvera.
Olvera gets a chance for a PAT and gets Judson's potentially their 7th point on the season.
Good snap, good hold. The PAT is blocked, and it's live. And I don't know if Judson knows. It's a live ball, still on his feet. Rumbling forward and ultimately going nowhere is the returner in Clay Campbell. And it's going to be 14-6. They don't get the PAT, but they do get a touchdown with 5:31 to go. And Austin, before we go to break, let's take a look at this replay. Just a beautiful play design on the fade.
You perfect touch, perfect pass. Not much of a chance for the secondary of Marion to make that play. And do want to point out, great job by Tyler Majors getting that block for Marion. Keeps it an 8-point game at the moment.
Really good job to give credit to Alexander. Body control, knowing where he was on the sideline to get a foot down. We're going to keep it here on the Judson Eagles streaming network. We apologize for the technical difficulties. 14-6 our score. Judson, after allowing touchdowns on their first 2 series, able to get a score of their own on their second offensive series. What did you see different on that offensive series, Austin?
I saw a lot more poise, looking at Mackey as a first option, and then from there being able to expand from that. That allowed their offense to get some movement.
Jalen Jennings back to return. He's already got a punt return of over 10 yards. And on the other side for the Marion Knights is Mason Miller. Ian Wiggin ready to kick off. Low liner to Jennings, and it's going to stay in bounds. A nice kick is going to result in a touchback, and that was not Wiggin. That was Donovan Vences Olvera. So a good job to force the touchback after having his PAT blocked on the previous play.
Confidence is the key in kicking game, and certainly that gave an opportunity for Judson to ensure that's not a 40-yard penalty, but instead the ball just goes to the 25.
Let's talk now about the adjustments the Judson defense needs to make. This Marion Knights offense, 3 for 3 on 3rd down, has kind of had their way in the run game. What adjustments do you expect to see from Quentin Debs and defensive coordinator Donald Sweeney?
You can see already the secondary is already creeping in, anticipating the run. There is trips to the right, but they're really gambling, thinking they're going to run the ball.
Standard 4-man rush, swing pass to the outside. That's Jennings. Tiptoes past the 30, 35, 40, and he's swung down around the 45 by Jalen Ware. Marion was looking for a flag, maybe a face mask. They don't get it.
Jake Reichard, the redshirt sophomore, was the wing receiver and laid a key block to allow that from being a short game to all of a sudden being a 15-yard gain to first down.
Yeah, pickup of 18 yards officially as the game clock rolls under the 5-minute mark. Bundalo in the gun, gives to his back. That's Hunter, and Hunter muscles forward as some late pushing comes in, followed by a late flag at midfield.
Yes, sometimes the edginess can get into this game of football, leading to penalties, but a good job overall by Judson to contain in that scenario. We'll see what happens with the penalty call.
Jared Schlensky alongside Austin Anderson here in the first quarter. Penalty against Marion. Holding is going to result in a 10-yard penalty and negate that solid run on first down.
And it's an opportunity for Judson now. Marion hasn't had a first down and long situation before. Now Judson has a chance to really get the clamps going, play a little more conservatively in the secondary and maybe hold them to and try to get out here on a 3 and out.
Got to give credit to this Marion team, especially their fan base. They traveled pretty well. It's a 5-hour trip. It's no easy commute.
There are many teams in this conference that travel well, Marion being one of them.
First down and long. Swing pass to the outside. And as another late flag comes in, getting a couple of yards is Jake Reichert.
I don't want to speculate too much, but seeing where the placement is, it might have been another hold. This might even back up Marion even further, but we'll see what happens. And it looks like they're heading that way. Well, legal block in the back is going to be the call. Regardless, it keeps pushing Marion back. Judson's going to have an opportunity now to really get those secondary back there and see if they can really limit Marion offensively here the next few plays.
Back-to-back penalties on first down against Marion is going to bring up first and forever. This defensive line, we've seen some rotation from Quentin Depps, and right now out there is Andrew Hawkins, Malik Rowe, and Josh Mason. First down, Bundalo can't escape, he's sacked. Great pressure off the edge by E.J. Glover. And that is the first sack of the season for the Eagles.
If I had 2 more seconds before the play, I was going to say watch out for E.J. Glover on the outside. Looked like he had a lane, and he really made the most of it. Let's see quickly that time that replay from that play. Just coming in there, E.J. Glover beat his man and took him down.
Yeah, nice ankle tackle there. Bundalo was almost able to stay upright, but Glover just able to hang on enough. Second down and forever. The Marion Knights offense, they had no problem moving forward. They can't even get positive yards on this drive. All day for Bundalo. Chucks it deep. Near side, incomplete. Over the head of his man, Jake Reichert. And it's going to bring up third down.
Reichert made a quick move on Kadir Ali on the outside. And it was pretty much the difference between him and the end zone. But fortunately for the Eagles, that was a 5-yard overthrown pass.
Good job there by Ali, though, forcing him towards the sideline, almost using him as a defender.
They're well coached. I mean, when you have a former NFL defensive back teaching you how to play, I mean, that's going to show up in the game.
Yeah, especially with those DBs. They should be able to take down a couple of notes. Third down and 30. What do you draw up here? 4 verts? I mean, what do you do?
Maybe a
screen?
Something like that. Hook and ladder, you go to the trick book maybe?
I don't know. Do you run the ball and accept maybe you're not going to get the first down here?
Well, you might, especially now that you're going to move back another 5 yards for a pre-snap penalty. So that's it's going to make it even worse.
False start's going to make it 3rd and 35. 14-6 our score. Judson not able to do much on its first offensive series, but their second offensive series capped off by a touchdown from Aiden Edwards to Grant Alexander. And now the defense, maybe a play away from its first punt. All day for Bundalo. Steps up, chucks it over the middle, and nearly intercepted. Jalen Ware got 2 hands on it, and he had a chance to flip the field there.
He did. The one positive thing is that because they're so far back that a punt might result in about the same position anyways. That said, I think Ware wants that one back for the stats for sure.
I think you might be right. It actually might be better that he didn't hang on to that from a field position standpoint. And now for the first time today, the punting unit comes out for the Marion Knights. Mason Miller, the junior, he had just 1 punt a year ago. So we don't really know what to expect here. Jeremiah Malone at his own 40. Is he going to get a chance to return it here? It looks potentially, yes.
There's a lot of green grass there if he can find a way to get the football and clear him out time.
Good punt. He should have time to return it. Malone hauls it in. Upfield past the 40 on his feet. Pushes forward close to midfield. Not a bad return. And now the Judson Eagles offense goes back to work. With an opportunity to possibly tie the game.
Great poise by Malone there to get that ball and to shake past that first return man or the first flanker coming down and allowed him to get about 6 or 7 yards down the field. Big opportunities here. You're right. Best field position all day for the Eagles. Only down by 8 here with 3:19 left in the first.
And we saw a lot more passing on that second series. Let's see if that's what we get here. But we've got a new quarterback in. And it is Bryce Petalat. Maybe a little wildcat? I don't know. Mackey's behind him. Petalat turns, give. Mackey pass the 45. Jaden Hubbard gets about 5 on first down.
Yeah, so Mackey takes a nice run. Jaden Hubbard's the new quarterback entering the game now for Judson, and that gives an opportunity now for Judson to try out their next quarterback. See what they have. The true freshman coming in, an opportunity here, the 5'9", 185 man out of Texas.
Again, Hubbard. Mackey trying to turn the corner. Stiffs arm a man past midfield, past the 40. Still on his feet, past the 30. Tripped up inside the 30 by Nate Fry. He just saved a touchdown, and you can see why Mackey was an All-American a year ago. He has some wheels.
This is why I'm so excited about this Judson football team, because now you have the run complementing the pass instead of just being a full-on run offense. They're getting quick to the line, but you see a tackle limiting the chance there for Judson, but now they're in business here.
Hubbard, maybe his first pass of the game, steps up in the pocket and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Was brought down by Alex Griffith and Dakari Kenny.
I'm excited to see Hubbard here for a second because I saw both quarterbacks tape this morning. Hubbard's got some agility and some arm strength, giving the true freshman a shot. We'll see what happens.
Alex Siebens lined up outside the numbers on the near side. He's got one catch already. Let's see if they go to him here. With time, Hubbard finds Siebens, and Siebens, still on his feet, is inside the 25. And a good pickup there on second down is going to bring up third and manageable. Jake Paris able to bring down Siebens, who is a little shaken up now.
And Siebens hopefully can get up and be okay here because he is a unsung hero of the offense in the slot. There was a lot of chances last year where Siebens was a significant player for Judson. Hopefully he's able to get up and be quickly able to come back to play. But in the immediate, you have Judson with a third and mid situation, right? The 20-yard line. You'd love, just with the untested kickers, you'd love to get another first down or two at minimum. See if that could potentially lead to getting another 6 or 8 points on the board.
Siebens still being attended to by the medical staff here at Judson. We're going to take a timeout. And when we get back, it'll be third down, 14-6 our score. Marian on top of Judson with 1:29 here to go in the first quarter. You're listening to Judson Eagles football here on the Eagles Streaming Network. Third down and 5 officially for the Eagles. Siebens able to limp off. Can only hope he's okay after making the catch. Jaden Hubbard getting his first action at quarterback is going to have 2 running backs to his left in Brandon Mackey and David Mitchell. Instead, it goes to a receiver on the jet sweep. And not a whole lot there on third down as the ball goes to Nigel Bruce. Excellent stop on the outside by the Knights' Tyler Majors.
And I think they're going for it. The offense is staying on the field, right? You're looking at about a 37-yarder from this point. Yeah, they're going to go on offense here, see what happens.
They're going to keep that full house package in the backfield. Fourth down. A ton of time on the play clock. They don't have to snap it right away. And a timeout taken.
Judson's calling their first of the half there.
Be Judson's second timeout, so they'll have one remaining. And it'll be 4th and 2. We'll keep it here. Jared Schlensky alongside Austin Anderson. Judson able to get their first stop on defense after allowing touchdowns on their first 2 opening series. The offense 3 and out on their first series, able to get 6 on their second, and now in position to move the chains again here on 4th down. What do you draw up here if you're offensive coordinator Byron Dawkins and Jesse Botten?
I think there's a numerous plethora of options, right? You need to get a significant amount of yards. If you spread out wide and see if you can get Mackey involved, that could be a safe bet. But I like the external offense with the receivers so far. Yes, I mean, Siebens is down, but Alexander getting some opportunities here early on. There's Anthony Cathcart. I mean, there's a lot of options of receivers that could be a potential play here for Judson. Oh, I think they're going to kick this.
Yeah, maybe they just wanted to give Marion a different look. And here comes Donovan Vences Olvera, who had his PAT blocked after the team's score back early in the first.
39-yarder, if my math is correct here.
It is. Good snap, good hold, low kick is up, and it is good. He kept it through the left upright. We got one official who said it was good, and now they're putting the ball back at the 20, so I'm going to assume that's not good. Clearly the left hand, both hands went up from one official, and they changed their mind.
Yeah, there was some discussion. I'm pretty sure they got the call right. It looked like it was going a little bit left, and unfortunately for Judson, that's the case. But Marion's backed up inside their own 30 again. Judson's defense came through last time. Let's see if they can do it again.
It had the distance. He just hooked it a little bit.
Just a little bit. It had the distance. You're absolutely right.
Here comes the Marionites offense on top 14-6. Motion man. Bundalo. Excuse me, to Gibson, who doesn't get much on first down. Wrapped up by the nose tackle, Josh Mason. We've called his name a lot over the last 2 years, and it doesn't matter really where you put him on the defensive line. He's going to make some plays.
He is, and he made an effort going into last year to even get in more shape than he already was, and I think it's made a significant difference in his play and ability and energy here early on.
That should be the final play of the first quarter. We'll take a timeout. After 1 quarter of play, Marion 14, Judson 6. We'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter here on the Judson Eagles streaming network. We've played 1 quarter here at Millennium Field. Judson down 14-6, but has some momentum going after allowing touchdowns on their first 2 series, able to force a punt. And after a rough start on that first offensive series, starting to move the football, Austin. Quentin Dempsey's team, maybe a little bit of a slower start than he would have liked, but you can tell they're picking up the pace here as they start the second quarter.
Oh, they most certainly are offensively. I'm seeing a lot of good movement, especially when you're now becoming dual threat. Run pass opportunities, the RPO kind of coming into play That's when you know you become a threat offensively. And the Eagles, with Mackey running the ball like he normally does, the defense and the offense continuing to throw the ball, they're playing well so far.
They've been pretty darn sound against the pass, too. Give Marion credit. They've been able to take what they can in the run game, but they've held the two-time all-conference selection, Zach Bundelow, to just 3 of 6 passing. Second and long, airs it out, and overshoots his man. Great coverage by Ryan Ote, who's a little shaken up following the play, and he was able to stick step for step with C.J. Young. And we're going to get another injury timeout here at Millennium Field.
The one thing that I'm really encouraged from a culture perspective seeing this is that on both injuries that Judson's had, the first guy out there has been head coach Quentin Demps, and just showing that, you know, there's no one person who's above anyone else in this program, and it starts with that guy at the top, and Q is doing that immensely well, and you just kind of see that, and even just the environment around the campus. Just seeing, you know, the football program continuing to find their ways to be more involved in the campus community. I mean, I just from a culture standpoint, obviously the play in the field has been a really awesome thing to see, especially on the offensive side. But just seeing how the culture is being built around this football team, it's been a really good thing to see. And I think Coach Q's tenure couldn't have gone off to a better start.
Well, you can tell he really works with that group because these defensive backs have done a very nice job after a rough opening series, still trying to get their feet wet and not exactly knowing what Marion's going to throw at him. He's thrown 4 straight incompletions now in Bundelow.
He has, and I think what you're noticing is that even you're seeing the athleticism. You know, make sure you follow. You know, go for the guy first and then turn around and look. They're getting down there. They're matching him stride for stride, and that's important as defensive backs, and they're doing a great job of that.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 9. With 14:53 to go, and you got to think they're going to go to the air here once again, right?
You would think. I mean, they haven't tested the D-line in the run game recently, but they're showing pass as of now.
2 receivers to the far. Bundelow drops back, dumps it off to Gibson, and that screen was sniffed out perfectly by Judson. Malik Rowe in there along with the freshman Muteris. Very nice job by the defensive line expecting the screen on 3rd and 9.
I mean, Malik Rowe from the edge, following the back off the line of scrimmage. Just really impressive stuff there for the Judson defense.
Back out to take the punt for Judson is Jeremiah Malone. But this defense, I don't know what was said after that second offensive series, but back-to-back 3 and outs now. This is a very sound defense, especially against the pass.
It has been. I think those couple of penalties, watch out, maybe something could be happening here, but you got to watch out. I mean, those penalties hurt Marion. I think Judson's gotten confidence from that.
Really nice high-arcing punt by Miller. Fair cut for and hauled in by the returner, Jeremiah Malone, around the 30-yard line, and that is where Judson will go back to work offensively. And let's see if they go back to Aiden Edwards, who started this game at quarterback but did not play quarterback the last series.
Yeah, they're going to go back to the true freshman. It looks like Jaden Hubbard, and I'm excited to see that both quarterbacks have gotten opportunities. I mean, it wasn't that Edwards played bad. They're just probably giving the true freshman opportunity here. Both gentlemen, with all due respect to last year's regime, I mean, both these gentlemen so far have proven that they are very capable of playing the quarterback position and much improved in that spot.
And Christian Miller, who got time at quarterback last year, now a tight end. First down. Hubbard with time. Dumps it down. There's Mackey. Stiffs arm a man all the way to the 35 and a pickup of about 5 on first down before being taken down by Joe Owens.
Yes, and after the play, there was a little bit of chaos and commotion there. Bryden Miller, the 300-pound, 6-foot right tackle, wasn't liking what he was getting on that right side, but fortunately for the Eagles, there was no penalty call.
2 receivers to both sides. Clap of the hands. Hubbard hesitates and throws it away. A good decision. I like that decision from the freshman. Yes, he was looking for Cathcart, but it wasn't there. What did he do? He didn't force it. He threw it away.
And Brandon Mackey is such a safe option there, and they haven't used Brandon Mackey as much out in the flat before, and I'm excited to see how he can improve on his ball catching skills. They always kind of used him as the bell cow and had I thought a couple other guys be able to be those wing guys. I'm excited to see Mackey be more of the part of the pass catching game this year. It's going to be a big element to his game.
3rd down and 5. Judson down 14-6, looking to convert their first 3rd down of the game. Play clock is not running, and yeah, we're having a play clock malfunction. This is actually an advantage for the offense. Get a chance to get on the same page with more time.
Yeah, and something that, just an insider scoop thing, you don't have play clocks in high school, so these portable play clock systems are bought by Judson and are only used here at the college games. They have to sync that up every time.
3rd down and 5. Hubbard with time. Swings it to Mackey. Mackey to the 40. Still on his feet past the 45. Has a first down. And he could have had a lot more if it wasn't for Aiden Cuevas. A really nice job of Hubbard going through his progression and going to maybe his 3rd option in Mackey. Here comes first down near midfield. The Eagles moving the ball. We'll take a look at that play after this first down. Give to Mackey to the right. Past midfield has a couple, but let's go back to that pitch and catch from Hubbard to Mackey on 3rd and 5.
Just having that extra option of that running back who can catch in the backfield is just so important. Mackey's getting a well-deserved rest here. But when your deep guys are getting covered and you have that option, just a huge asset to the offensive game.
We've seen Nigel Bruce get some touches. Well, that doesn't look to be him in the backfield. 2nd down. It is Nigel Bruce. To the left. Bruce rumbles forward as a late flag comes in. And this looks like it might be on the Judson offensive line.
It's a hold indeed, and that's killer because now you were looking at a 2nd down and short or 3rd and short kind of situation. Now you got to pull it back. It's going to be 2nd and long. I think the air games have to get involved in a more significant element here later on in this drive.
So instead of 3rd and 7, this is going to bring up 2nd and 17. It's been a busy day for both of these running games. A lot of touches via the ground game. Surprise or kind of what you anticipated?
Yeah, from Judson's offensive side, I was always expecting Judson to be more of a ground team in general. But I've been really excited to see that their air game has gotten some action here, and just seeing the talent at the quarterback position, it's been awesome.
2nd and 17, Hubbard with his 2nd series at the quarterback position. Drops back, dumps it off. Nigel Bruce on the screen past midfield, close to the original line of scrimmage. This is going to bring up 3rd and 7. Doing a really nice job of giving different looks. First time we've seen the running back leak to the middle on the screen.
Yes, it's been an opportunity to kind of see where the running back positioning is going to be on those plays. Different running backs, different opportunities. Nigel Bruce did a good job slipping to the middle.
3rd and 7. Marion brings pressure. Hubbard's got to get rid of it, and he does. Nice double A-gap blitz right over the center by Lucas Hines. And you got to think Judson's going to punt here.
To pin Marion back already when they're struggling on offense would be very wise of them to do, and you're right, Jared, that's what's going to happen. But what I've noticed here is that you have some of their linebackers, it's been some of their backups for Marion that have been doing some work. Lucas Hines, the 6'4" redshirt sophomore, and Jake Paris, the redshirt junior. It's not just the first line of defense and the linebackers. They've been going 2 or 3 deep, and they're still being impactful.
Here comes the punting unit for Judson. Jalen Jennings to return stands at his 10. Low punt. Takes a Judson bounce and rolls all the way to about the 15. And that's where the Marion Knights offense will go to work. With 11:18 here to go in the second quarter. We'll keep it here. Jared Schlensky alongside Austin Anderson. And Austin, obviously we know they don't set spreads and totals and like that at this level. But you got to think this. If anyone thought Judson would be within 8 points almost midway through the second quarter, I'm not sure how many people would have thought that. give Quentin Demps, his staff, and his players a lot of credit. They have given Marion everything they can handle.
Especially week one. I think we've seen in both Judson's seasons so far that it took them a few weeks to kind of get into the swing of things. This year, it seems like it's a different tone. This year, it seems like we're here game one, right? We're not going to take a few weeks to get used to it. We're right here, ready to play, and we're going to compete.
Marion, again, people might not remember, the number 6 team in the nation. First down give. This is Hunter, the starter, and Hunter does not get a whole lot. Good stop up front by Andrew Hawkins on first down. Week one, you said it, not knowing what to expect from Quentin Demps. This has to have exceeded expectations.
Most definitely. And you know, it's still in the first half. I mean, there's been numerous times where Judson's hung around with some really good teams at this level. But let's see if we are able to, Judson can extend this effort throughout 4 quarters. That'd be a big thing to see.
Second down, Bundalo in the gun. 2 receivers to his left. Swing pass. That's Jennings past the 20 and out of bounds right around the 25. That should be enough for a first down.
Yeah, there were a couple of missed tackles there by the Judson corners and secondary that didn't allow them to do much there. DeHavian Allen was trying to make an effort and unfortunately missed his man. It is going to be 3rd and short, so a big chance here for Judson defensively, but if you're the Eagles, you would have loved a 3rd and 6 or 7, 3rd and 1.
Third down and less than a yard. Bundalo going to a hard count under center. Judson crowding the line. Quarterback keeper. He should have enough for it. Excellent push up front. And I wouldn't be surprised here, only up by 8, if Marion is looking to take some time off the clock and at least get a field goal.
I think the last 2 possessions, they thought they were just going to be able to air raid this whole game, right? You look at the first 2 possessions and just be able to get several yards down the field. Now you're looking at a scenario where, you know, Judson's defense has been a little bit more stellar here, and it's just allowing and forcing Marion to go down the field a little bit slower.
First down, Christian Hunter. Met by Bryce Heary, the converted DN to middle linebacker, and he gets nothing. Bryce Heary was a guy that really showed some explosiveness, especially towards the end of last season. And, well, he's showing it so far today.
He is, and it's leading Judson to get some good opportunities here defensively. They're making some key tackles, and, you know, it's been so far so good in terms of the last 2 or 3 possessions with keeping the offense from being limited gains here.
Second down. Bundalo in the gun. They've struggled to move the ball through the air. To his right, that's Jennings. And Jennings again with another catch on this drive. Should have enough for the first down, if not very close to it. He is just so darn fast out of his break.
He is. And every time Marion can make it a 3rd and short situation like it is here, they have to feel confident. They were going deep first down, second down. Get those 5 yards and push the ball up the field. I think methodically it's going to be difficult for Judson to be able to maintain 2 or 3 yard bursts when they're intentionally trying to keep it short, and that's what Marion seems to be doing this drive.
Jennings now with 4 catches for over 40 yards. Third down and 2. Bundalo to Christian Hunter. Hunter trying to turn the corner, does. Pass midfield into Judson territory, taken out of bounds by E.J. Glover and Max Lynch at around the Judson 40.
It seemed like there might have been a chance at the line of scrimmage, but you can just tell that the offensive linemen of Marion are just another level of specimen. There is a flag on the field. It's a hold. Depending on where the spot is, this could be a big factor in how this drive goes.
Question is, was it beyond the line of scrimmage? Was it after he had the first down? We're going to wait and see. But give credit to where credit's due. Donald Sweeney, first-year D coordinator for Judson. After a slow start, back-to-back touchdowns first 2 series, they have found something here since.
In essence, it's going to be, it is going to be a first down. They just by the eyelash of the football, and that's unfortunate for Judson. But, again, keeping Marion in check here so far in this drive.
First down from the Marion 38. So it probably, again, we didn't hear, but I'm assuming it happened after he picked up the first down.
Yeah, it did. And unfortunately for Judson, it doesn't help them on this drive for that last set of downs. But new set here.
First play, goes to Hunter following the penalty. Out past the 40, a couple of yards on first down. We expected to see running back by committee, but it's been mostly Christian Hunter. He's got 8 carries. William Gibson has 6. And Bundalo, the quarterback, has had a couple of designed runs.
He has, and it's allowed, a couple of opportunities for Marion to start getting down the field. Now they're pushing a lot of run. You start wondering when Judson's secondary is going to cheat in, and maybe they go to the passing game here soon.
Yeah, Marion's been much more effective on the ground than through the air. Christian Hunter on the play fake. Bundalo throws off balance, nearly intercepted. Threw it way short of his intended target. That was Marion receiver Jake Reichard. And another near pick for the Knights. That was Reginald Bethley.
It was, and we'll go ahead and see the replay. The offense Bundalo for Marion ends up taking a major hit towards the legs. A good effort on that dive. He was hit low, and it wasn't an intentional hit low. It's just like where the defensive line was, they had to be able to jump and make a play, and it affected the throw. And for Marion's sake, they might have to be going to the second quarterback here. It's a very unfortunate situation, but for Judson's standpoint, it's a 3rd down and 6, 3rd down and 7. Just find a way to regroup, one more stop, and you get the ball back. And again, as we talked about here, 6th team in the nation. It's 7:05 left in the second. If Judson can get a stop and then get a touchdown drive to end the half, what could that do for the momentum?
Yes.
Just bananas.
That's the second time we've seen Bundalo take a pretty good hit. By no means malicious at all, just part of the game, a football hit. But the passing attack for Marion has not nearly been as effective as it was early on. Anything you notice from a defensive standpoint, schematical, that you're seeing different against the pass that we saw early on?
I think, again, it just comes down to kind of reading what Marion has from a passing game, right? You have the corners who are doing a better job of going stride for stride with the receivers. Maybe the first possession, it just took them a possession to realize, okay, we're going game speed now, right? And that's just something you got to get adapted to, get used to. For the first drive, Marion was more ready to play. And ever since about, the 6-minute mark in the first quarter, Judson's been the more ready team. And unfortunately, Marion got 2 scores in that short time frame. But Judson's doing a good job hanging in right in there. And you can see Coach Demps wanting to get his fan base really into this play. It's a big 3rd down. If Judson can turn the corner here and get this turn, this would be a really significant effort for their offense.
We're going to get to see the backup quarterback, R.J. Griffin, which is kind of surprising because Tristan Polk has been the backup the last 2 years, was listed as the backup on the depth chart. It's now Christian Polk, it's now Marion backup quarterback R.J. Griffin, the freshman from Ohio. First snap, 3rd down, Hunter tries to turn the corner and is not going to get nearly enough. Excellent job on the outside by Cameron Carter along with Joe Owens, and this is going to force a punt.
Cameron Carter saw a run right away, disengaged from his assignment, and was able to come in and make a nice tackle.
This Judson defense definitely has given this team some life. Judson down 14-6 in their first game in the Quinton Demps era. And again, this is just no average NAIA team. This is a team that has been to 3 national championships in the last 10 years and is the number 6 team in the nation. Miller out to punt for the 3rd time. Maybe his best punt today. Really, really high. No fair catch. Called by the returner, Malone. And it is going to be Judson ball at around the 15. Good job there by Malone of just hanging on to the ball.
I've been really impressed with the return game so far of Judson. There's a flag on the field after the kick, so it'll be Judson's ball or a re-kick. But the fact of the matter is that you have to have calm composure. These are not Little League punts by any stretch of the imagination. These are high spiraling kicks. He's been able to catch all of them so far.
Jared Schlensky alongside Austin Anderson. Week 1 of the NAIA season for both these teams, the Marion Knights and the Judson Eagles. Marion was pretty much a heavy favorite coming into this one. Quinton Demps, you can tell his team is prepared here for game 1 in his first season at the helm. Just how impressed have you been with this team from all three phases, offense, defense, special teams?
I mean, it seems to be that right now everything is just clicking on all cylinders. And with that in mind, it's been a three-phase game, and that's just been so important for Judson. And with that in mind, that has allowed the Eagles just to hang in here, right? So we have an illegal block here against Marion, it appears. We'll see what happens here. I think Judson's going to take the ball from the return spot. But with that in mind, Judson's just hanging in there. They're just doing a good job of just making opportunities just to get the ball and be able to move it down the field. And before you know it, hopefully it pays off with some further opportunities here.
Let's see who we get at quarterback. Aiden Edwards didn't look like he was injured. I haven't looked at the sideline. I don't see him. And it looks like Hubbard is in at quarterback again. So that is something we'll have to look into at halftime. He may have left with an injury. Again, we don't want to speculate, but Hubbard has played the last three series after Aiden Edwards started the game. Hubbard, first down, play fake with time, rolls right. Keeps, slides, and maybe gets a couple on first down. I'll tell you what, he is not going to make any big mistakes. He is going to extend the play, and if it's not there, he is going to throw it away. We've seen that early on.
And he has mobility, too. We're seeing that here. He's just able to slide out of the pocket. His throws, from seeing some tape earlier, some of his high school tape, I mean, they're accurate. They get there. Very tight spiral, but sometimes you just have to be able to take what's in front of you, and that's what he's able to do here so far.
Second down, give to Mackey. Mackey pushes forward for a couple before being hit by Tyler Bucher, and we're going to defensive battle here in the second quarter with 5:30 and ticking to go in the first half.
Yeah, right now it just seems like Judson's taking what's in front of him, and third down, you're probably going to have to pass here, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, Aiden Edwards, 3 for 4 for 69 yards first two series. He has not been in at quarterback since. Third down, Hubbard swings to Mackey. Marion all over the screen, and Mackey goes nowhere. Great stop by Reese Walker, and it's going to bring out the punting unit again after a 3-and-out by the Judson Eagles offense.
Yeah, it seems like the Eagles haven't been as confident the last couple of drives trying to go downfield with the passing game. They're kind of a little more side-to-side action. Maybe further in the possession down the line, maybe they can start looking to do more of an aerial attack to see if they can get things going.
Alex Siebens, who got hurt in the first quarter, is back on the sideline and has his right shoe off. So I wouldn't rule him out necessarily, but I wouldn't expect to see him at least for the remainder of this half. As for Aiden Edwards, we'll have to find out more at halftime as a flag comes in and they delay a game against the Judson punt team.
Other than field position, it's you want to keep all the yards you have, but it's not an offensive infraction per se, so they're just going to have to punt from 5 yards back.
And don't forget, the starting quarterback, Zach Bundelow, shaken up on the previous series. We'll have to see if he goes back out there or if the true freshman, R.J. Griffin, gets additional snaps. Wiggin to punt, and it's blocked. Gibson in the end zone picks it up with two hands, and that's a touchdown. William Gibson, who sees some time as a running back, along with Joe Owens in on the block, and it was Owens who recovered the blocked punt for 6.
If there is one phase of the 3 that was going to be something you have to worry about, it was going to be the special teams. There is a referee discussion. Maybe we'll see what happens there. There is a flag towards midfield, but we'll see what happens here on the call.
I don't think it's going to be roughing the punter. The ball was blocked. It looks like it's going to stay. And that is a huge momentum shifter. Both teams defensively were getting stop after stop.
Yeah, it was a personal foul. I think offsetting penalties will.
I know it was at least a personal foul against Judson. I did not see if they also gave it to Marian. Either way, the touchdown is going to count on the block punt by Joe Owens. And it's 20-6 with 4:03. And it could be 21-6 pending the PAT.
That's a huge momentum change, right? You have an offense that doesn't seem to be, it didn't seem to be clicking, and you have a backup quarterback in, and to get your special teams to step up and get a touchdown, that's huge, and now puts a little more barrier between you and your opponent. That's a big play for Marion.
It's going to be an extra long PAT. They're going to move it all the way back to the 17-yard line. This is a 34-yard PAT.
NFL level here.
Marlon Pomeli has the distance, and it is good inside the left upright. And that is going to make this a 21-6 game with 4:03 to go. We'll take a timeout. When we return, it'll be Judson football as we get near to the end of the first half here on the Eagles streaming network. Do you see Edwards?
I have.
He is. He took his helmet off? Oh, thank you. The block punt and a PAT by Joe Owens has given the Marion Knights a 21-6 lead. Their biggest of the day at 15 as this kick goes out of bounds, and it's going to be the best starting field position for the Judson Eagles offense, who are going to be down both Aiden Edwards and Alex Siebens. Siebens still has his pads on his uniform. The receiver hurt earlier in the first quarter after making a catch, but he has his right shoe off, and it's wrapped up. Meanwhile, Aiden Edwards, I don't think he's coming back. The quarterback in a sling and street clothes after leading the team to its only touchdown drive on that fade ball to the freshman Grant Alexander. A tough break for Judson, who's going to have to now go to Hubbard for the rest of the game.
It's unfortunate, but it's the game of football, right? You have to be ready all the time. And how about this for the true freshman Jaden Hubbard? Was not expecting to get much playing time today. Now it's taking a lion's share of the snaps here for Judson.
Both starting quarterbacks out. Bundelow also out for Marion. Far throw to the sideline, short to Grant Alexander. He went from the far hash to the opposite side and the near sideline. Just didn't have enough mustard on it. But a good decision, a good read. He had the right idea, just didn't put it on him.
Yeah, and I think he might need to start rolling out of the pocket a little bit to try to get some momentum going. We'll see how he's able to combat situations like that in the future.
Second down, the game clock stopped at 4 minutes following the incompletion. Brandon Mackey makes a couple of man miss, hurdles a man, and all the way out to the first down marker, the 45. Holy cow. He looked like Reggie Bush in 2K10 jumping over everybody.
Yeah, it is. And as long as that guy is healthy, you know the offense is going to have some level of threat to it, regardless of who else is around him. I mean, that's a D1 level maneuver there.
That's sure. Putting the team on your back, and a good job there by the right side of the offensive line to clear a path for him. First and 10, game clock rolls under 3:30. Mackey again tries to go outside, now inside, and goes absolutely nowhere. Well, let's go back to that first down, that 10-yard pickup that was able to move the sticks for this Judson Eagles offense. Whoop! Right over the man, and then lunges forward for a first down. And without Aiden Edwards, you got to think Mackey's going to be getting the ball just about every other play from here on out.
The only downside of that is that Marion knows it's coming, right? Yeah, besides that, it's a good idea.
They got 4 down linemen, 3 in the box. Hubbard, play fake with time, far throw to the near sideline. This time he does get enough to Grant Alexander. Again, that is not an easy throw. He's going from the opposite side hash to the opposite side field. You got to have a lot of arm strength to make that play, and he did, to Grant Alexander for 10 yards.
And a good job by Alexander to come to the ball as well. It was a little short, but he made the play.
A little bit more of tempo here. Hubbard to Mackey. Mackey forward inside the 45, close to the 40, and was taken down by Tyler Majors. And this Judson team doing a good job on this drive of getting some momentum. And don't forget, they're going to get the ball to begin the second half. This is a huge drive. Under 2 minutes, Hubbard, play fake. And that's too bad because he had some time there. But this is going to be negated.
Yeah, and not only negated, but negative yards too. It's going to be 2nd and 10 after that.
2nd down and 10 following the false start. Not a lot of penalties from both teams. Been pretty clean, but the injuries. Both starting quarterbacks have been hurt. Alex Siebens has gone down with an injury, starting receiver, and limping off the field was Bryden Miller, who got the start today at right tackle. And you have to wonder how much the heat goes into that. It's hot out there, over 85 degrees.
It is hot, but it's thankfully not as hot as it was 2 weeks ago. That would have been an absolute craziness.
2nd down and 10. Hubbard doesn't see it, and he is sacked. Excellent rush from the outside by Dakari Kenny. And you talk about the heat, yeah. First week of the IHSA season was postponed today because of that heat warning. Fortunately, it's not that hot, but what was 2nd and 10 is now going to be 3rd and 16.
The Eagles doing some shifting around the offensive line, and they're going to have to settle in here soon. The senior Tyler Silverstrand was able to get beat on the outside, and that's something they're going to have to work on here later in this quarter as well as the second half.
3rd and 13 with just over a minute to go. Hubbard drops back, escapes for a moment, but can't escape permanently. Sacked for the 2nd consecutive play. And it was again Dakari Kenny along with Jake Paris. And now you got to think maybe if you're Marion to take a timeout.
I think that's exactly what they're thinking is the clock stopped here. They know Judson gets the ball to start the second half. So if they can get a 3-score lead to at most, Judson could get back within 2. That's something they got to look at.
Back-to-back sacks by the linebacker Dakari Kenny. And after blocking already 1 punt for a touchdown today, why not stop the clock and see if you can maybe get your hands on another?
Yeah, and even if not that, they're going to bring pressure at that. And we're going to take a look at that last sack that Marion had a chance with, and not much there for the offensive line they could do. Just some great effort on the interior from Marion, and Judson's going to have to get something going here defensively to try to limit Marion on another opportunity.
The punting unit back out for the Judson Eagles. And that looks like Hubbard back there.
Rugby style on the kick there.
That is a really good sidewinding punt by Ian Wiggin. As this one goes out of bounds right around the 35. And we don't know who's going to go in at quarterback. We saw Bundelow get hurt earlier, was replaced by true freshman R.J. Griffin, and with a 2-score lead and some timeouts, you're in a tough predicament if you're head coach Ted Karras of whether or not you're going to go into the half up 2 scores or maybe try to move the ball.
You don't have a lot of time, right? 43 seconds, you have to go in the air, and having a backup quarterback do that is not always the easiest thing to do. Although that might be, I can't see it, it might be Bundelow right back into the game. I can't.
Bundelow limped off with an ankle injury. He is back out there. Blitz comes. He's in trouble. Has to throw it away. And he does. Hit hard on the play. And that pressure off the outside by Joshua Williams.
Yeah, and the Eagles are going to do everything in their power to make sure that actually that is Tristan Polk now. The 98 got a little blurred, so it is Tristan Polk who was the second on their depth chart. I was able to see the monitor. That is an
right.
8. So still, regardless of who's out there, it's still a good idea to pressure the quarterback.
2nd and 10 for Polk, the freshman. Tries to escape. Throws it away. No, that's an incomplete pass, I think. He didn't throw it. He probably should have just taken the sack.
I think they're saying that he's either down or it's going to be intentional grounding, and you can see Quentin Demps running over. Regardless, it's going to be a sack at that spot, and that's where Marion's going to get the ball.
It looked like it was recovered, though, by the Eagles regardless. Let's take a look at this replay as, again, the Judson defensive line getting pressure on the quarterback.
Was he down? I think he was down. I think that's what they're ruling. Oh, no, the ruling incomplete. Wow. That's,
I thought it was an incomplete pass.
Yeah,
it was forward.
It was forward. I'm wondering if his knee was down before. You can see right there. Great job by a replay team.
Yeah.
He's down.
With the ball in his hand.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's great job by a replay team. That's incredible work there. But unfortunately, the refs ruled otherwise, and that's going to mean that they're going to be third down. So
Jordan Sorensen again. Shout out to the TV crew. Yeah, you couldn't have. That looked like an NFL footage there. Couldn't have done any better there. 3rd and 14. Polk, 3-step drop. Has time. Going to the near sideline. Looking for a man, and it is caught along with pass interference. Beautiful, beautiful catch in traffic by C.J. Young on a perfectly thrown ball by Nick Polk.
So it's going to be PI, and it will be with 21 seconds. Now Marion is very much in scoring range, and they're going to want to capitalize. And we've seen from their special teams, they have some distance in their kickers. So, 40-plus yards might not be an issue for Marion here today from their kicking game. So Judson's just got to try to hold them to 3 in this situation.
Judson thought it might have been OPI, but they say it's going to be on the defense. Let's take a look here if Young got away with a push-off.
It looks like it could have gone either way.
Yeah, a little bit of hand fighting both ways. Polk, again, finds his man for a completion, and this is the tight end, Byerly, and Marion will use its second timeout to stop the clock. And now if you're Judson, like you said, you're just hoping to keep this to a field goal.
Yeah, that's Judson's goal, so that they have to keep in mind to try to limit that offense. A field goal still technically makes it a 2-score game. You're looking at a 16-point differential, but actually that would be 18 points. My math's wrong. But the point, regardless of the point, you have to be able to try to limit Marion from being able to get some offense here any further than just a 3-point attempt, because every point against you makes it difficult to come back that much further.
Give Polk some credit. I don't think he expected to have to go in there. I don't know if either of these backup quarterbacks have expected to go in, but both have done more than just a manageable job. They're not managing the game. They're making plays for their offense.
They are, and you'd think that, you go to the backup quarterback, it's sometimes such a downgrade, but both of these teams are showing that there's talent beyond just the first wave of offense.
10.2 seconds to go. Polk drops back, escapes pressure. He's got to watch the clock. Throws, and it is caught. And did the ball come out? No, it's incomplete. He had it momentarily, but Young could not hang on long enough.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a replay of that because that could have been a catch and a fumble, possibly recovered by Judson.
The only replay that the NAIA permits in replay review is only for targeting. So regardless of what we see here on these great level replays, it can't really affect what's going on the field except for targeting. So fortunately for Judson, it's only going to be a 3-point attempt here at the field goal.
Well, the clock is going to stop. My question is Coach Demp's going to try and call a timeout to ice the kicker? Marlon Pomeroy will not get to kick. Timeout by Demps, and I like that decision there to ice Pomeroy as the ball is at the 21-yard line, which is going to make this a 38-yarder.
Yeah, and that's for Marion, with I think when you're the 6th best team in the country, your special teams is going to have some opportunities, right? And you're looking at Marion having the chance to really, again, try to make this a 3-score game. Judson, again, there are a couple things that you wish would have gone your way, but all things considered, right, you're on your backup quarterback now, you're able to move the ball. There are a lot of building points, and, as much as everyone would love to think that every year you're looking for a national championship, I mean, Judson's in a phase where they're trying to build towards Marion. We talked about that earlier in the broadcast, and and just even a few signs of improvement year by year can start putting you really in the conference of the talk of the MSFA. Not only that, but then you can start talking NAIA playoffs. You got to love the direction where this team's been playing so far this half.
Judson looking for its fans to get loud. They're looking to keep this a two-score game. Pomeroy has already hit from 40 yards. Ball on the left hash. Good snap, good hold. Pomeroy's kick. Did he push it? No, he didn't. It is good, and that will complete the first half. A couple of kicks from Pomeroy, and it is 24-6 in favor of the Marion Knights at the half. We'll be back right before the start of the third quarter. Jared Schlinsky alongside Austin Anderson. Very competitive first half of play. The number 6 Marion Knights on top, 24-6. We'll be back shortly with first half stats, recap, and then the start of the second half here on the Judson Streaming Network.
And because of that, you're kind of in a situation where you put yourself in an area where you are really right back into this thing. So if you're Judson, I think you just realize you have to play this out like a 0-0 game right now. Obviously, from the sake of trying to come back in this game, you're going to have to start passing the ball a little more. But, I think mentality-wise, you just try to win the half, right? You start by trying to win the half. If you're really winning the half, then you try to go for the ball game. But, again, you're building – technically, this is a cross-division game, so it doesn't count towards their conference record technically. So because of that, they're just build on this, right? If you can win the half, I think that's a win for Judson's staff, considering the injuries and just trying to see where they are as a program.
Well, Judson's going to get the ball to begin the second half, and they have not been able to move the ball quite as effectively as they did since the Aiden Edwards injury. And again, that's a tough blow, losing your starting quarterback. Marion had the same thing happen to Zach Bundlow. Has been a starter the last 2 years, went down with looked to be an ankle injury following a sack. He's been replaced by another true freshman. And that freshman, all the way from Ohio, and Tristan Polk, got things going a little bit in the second half. How much does that change the game plan for both offensive coordinators, knowing you're probably likely without your starting quarterback?
I think, again, we're going to see a lot more running. I think this is going to be a quicker half just because of the sake of a lot more running being involved. But maybe you get to a point where you do want to try to throw the ball a little bit to see how things are going, right? So we'll see what happens here in the coming next 10 minutes or so. But I think we're going to see a lot more ground game. And especially for Judson, they're going to need to get something in the air going if they want to come back in this game.
And we are ready to begin the second half. Marlon Pumley set to kick off. Back to return for the Eagles is number 5, Nigel Bruce, who has this one go over his head into the end zone. And we will start the second half. Judson football from their own 25. It's a hot one today, folks, too. It was 85 degrees at kickoff. It's all the way up to 87. It's not that humid, but there's not that many clouds. The sun is kind of beating right now.
It is, and, as we talked about earlier, if this was an 100-degree day, I think we'd be looking at a much different mentality of how these teams would be playing the football game. But right now, it's just kind of a high 80s, still very warm. I don't want to be in pads right now, but by the same token, thankfully there's no cloud cover, but it's going to be a little more sunny. But thankfully, it's not completely terrible for football weather.
First down and 10 for the Eagles. Hubbard drops back to the flat. Brandon Mackey. Mackey on his feet to about the 30 before being wrestled down, and he just does not go down on first contact.
Second effort. He is an animal out there as a running back. He just gets that extra yardage. Really doesn't find any way to be, shortchanged on those runs, and he's just a very, very solid player. I'm just excited to see how we can continue to build as a junior here now at Judson.
A pickup of 5 is going to make it 2nd and 5. Hubbard to Alexander, caught around the 45. We've seen them hook up 3 times now, and each time it's been far hash to near sideline. That far throw is not easy, but he's making it with ease. A good pickup there for 10-plus yards and a new set of downs.
I think that's been his best throw of the ball game so far, Jared. I think that the spiral, it was right there. He didn't need to move around a little bit. So, yeah, it was an awesome situation. Good throw there and moving the chains.
Let's see if Marion looks to bring a little bit of pressure now. They've only rushed with their front 4 for the most part. They do again. Nigel Bruce bounces to the outside, switches hands, and gets out to the 45 before being wrestled down from behind by Nate Fry.
Yes. Good effort getting on the outside. I think Judson's kind of starting to realize that their best offense is going to be finding it, 5 yards down the field, whether running or passing, keeping it to the outsides. It seems like the interior defense right now for Marion's been playing stellarly. They're getting some openings on the outsides.
Second down, looked to be a little bit early movement. Mackey tries to turn the corner, does, makes a couple man miss, and is into Marion territory. Finally taken down from behind by David Badesco, but again, Brandon Mackey, Nigel Bruce, you might get to him right away, but it doesn't mean you're going to bring him down right away.
It's the yards after contact that are huge, and Judson's taking advantage of that in this drive. I like the pacing. I like the methodicalness of getting down the field here.
Hubbard with time, airing it out. Alexander over a man. No, they say he didn't get a foot down.
And Quentin Demps is beside himself. He thought he did. It was a very, very close play. You only need that 1 foot. It was pretty darn close, but the field judge was right on the call. Quentin Demps wants to buy that catch for his team, but that was very darn close.
Let's see if we can get a replay of that. That was a really good ball from Hubbard, his best throw of the game. If we do, we'll be able to see if he got a foot in or not. 2nd down and 10, pistol formation. Play fake, great time. Hubbard, Alexander again, that's been his go-to guy, and he's got the first down just like that. Alexander, 2 catches, 25 yards, this time taken down by Zion Woods and Dion Pettiford.
The more and more we're playing, the more and more that Hubbard's starting to feel content running this offense. And we've seen it get better and better. I want to see what keeps happening here on this drive.
And this crowd is starting to get into it. Things weren't going Judson way towards the end of the half. They are here to start the second. Nigel Bruce on the sweep. Makes a couple of men miss, and ultimately will get right back to the line of scrimmage. Really good pressure on the outside by Tyler Majors and Tyler Bucher, but not really a whole lot of room there for Mackey.
No, and Nigel Bruce he was going to lose 5 yards in that play and did a great job just getting back to the line.
Cathcart, who had the 55-yard catch in the first half in the slot on the near side. Nigel Bruce in there with Hubbard. 2nd down, Hubbard, play fake. Good protection over the middle and nearly caught just a little too hot and a little too high for Will Nagel. I really like that read. You can tell Hubbard is feeling more confident in the pocket now.
He is, hopefully from an injury standpoint, Edwards can get back soon. But the more and more reps Hubbard gets with the first team, I think he's going to build on that for sure.
3rd and 10, 11:27 to go. The Eagles have moved the ball quite well, but have struggled today on 3rd down. Here comes pressure. Hubbard in trouble. Gets rid of it. Over the middle, and not nearly enough for a first down. Taken down by Clay Campbell. And again, 3rd down has just been killer for the Eagles. 1 of 7 up to date.
It has been, and they're kind of in a no-man's land spot where I guess you could punt, but I think considering that you're down by 3 scores as well, this might not be a bad time to just try to go for it, but we'll see. I think they're going to send out the punt team here.
Good drive, though, able to move the football. 3rd down, again, they didn't convert the only one they had, but Hubbard, you got to be happy there on that series. Felt confident, he looked confident, I should say, from the pocket, and was pretty accurate with the football.
You see Christian Miller kind of lined up. This could be a fake punt formation.
I would be surprised if they fake it here, but you could be right. Expect the unexpected. Wiggin from Jamaica, the right foot, and he delivers a beauty inside the 5, and that is where the Marion Knights will go to work offensively. The question is, will it be Zach Bundalo, who left this game with an injury after starting, or the freshman Tristan Polk, who finished out the half?
Just a quick nugget on Ian Wiggin. He's a track star for Judson. I did not know he had kicking abilities coming into today, but I've been very impressed with his punts, especially that one. That was quite the punt, and he landed it just inside the 5. Hidden talents. Sometimes when you're a college, this kind of college, the small school field, you can find some hidden talents throughout some other sports, and sure enough, I think Judson's found the gem in Ian Wiggin.
I think you might be right about that. And it is the freshman, Tristan Polk. Polk gives. And Polk gives off to Hunter, who gets nothing. The veteran Christian Hunter, the senior from California. He's had a good game, 9 carries, 77 yards. Doesn't get a whole lot there on 1st down.
No, and Malik Rowe was right there. Just got his piece of, got a paw on it and really limited the offensive opportunity there. Well done.
2nd down and 10 with 9:50 to go. It's been a pretty darn good effort defensively today from Judson. The 24 points, you take away the last 10, a blocked punt and a field goal. They've really kept this team to 14. Again, this time the give goes to Hunter, and Hunter a much more positive game there before being met by Malik Rowe. This is going to bring up third and manageable.
But it is, but I still like Judson's defense at the second level. The linebackers getting a better job of stopping the run here, making Marion have to think the throw a little bit deeper, which they've had some success doing. But overall, again, I think every phase of the ball, for the most part, has improved as the game progresses, which is going to be a good sign for the rest of the season.
Third down and 6. 9:03 to go. Play clock under 10. Polk in the gun for the first time on this drive. To the middle of the field, finds his man, and then some. That's the tight end, Drew Byerly, his second catch. And that's going to move the chains. A really nice on-target throw from to Byerly from the freshman Polk. We're going to get a replay here. Tristan Polk with a beautiful ball over the middle of the field.
And I think as we watch this, or we'll come back to it later on, but you know, the missed tackle there in the secondary really kind of propelled that to become a big gain.
Swing pass is nearly intercepted, sniffed out perfectly by the defensive end, Jalen Trice. Oh man, that was about to be a pick six, but it just ricocheted a little bit too far off the hands of him.
What a read, though, by Trice, just to get in, see that pass coming, and he guessed it right and literally was about a half step away from catching that and just waltzing into the end zone. That would have been a huge momentum changer in this one.
Excuse me, it was Clifton Jimerson, the returner from a year ago. Jimerson got his hands on that one. Second down and 10, 8:16 to go. Two receivers to the far. Play fake. Polk throws a little high, but a leaping catch beyond the 30-yard line by C.J. Young, who's had himself a busy day today.
The way he went up for that catch was a pro-style catch, right? He went up, got it so that he could be able to adjust to make it chest high. There's not much you can do as a corner when the receiver finds his position, plants, and finds the angle in which he grabbed it. That was just an impressive play.
And Marion taking a lot of time off the clock here on this drive. Going to bring up third and short. Back to under center. Two tight ends, quarterback sneak. Polk did not get it initially. I don't know if he got it there.
Second effort, I think he's very darn close. And yeah, they're going to move the chains, unfortunately. But good effort initially, but unfortunately the second push just got him over the line.
Yeah, Malik Rowe almost kept him from getting that one. It's going to bring up a new set of downs as, again, another third down converted by this Marion team. They were 6 for 9 in the first half, and they're 2 for 2 here in quarter number 3. Polk in the gun, play fake to the slot. That's Jennings. Jennings past midfield. He's got all sorts of grass in front of him, and that is going to be without a doubt a touchdown. 60-plus yards. The speedster Jennings hauls in the out route and never looks back. It's 30-6.
And he just had full momentum as we look at a replay of that score. He just got momentum, found that green grass. You're right, Jared, and off to the races he was. Couple nice blocks down that right sideline, and eventually he just took it to the house, as you see there. Once you get to about the 40, there was no chance that was going to lead to anything, and Judson unfortunately now finds himself in its deepest hole of the day, but another chance for the offense to come out. They had a good drive last time to see if they can move the ball, push it forward, and see what can happen.
Jennings over 100 receiving yards, his second score. And here comes Pomeroy for his second PAT today. It is up and it is through, 31-6. Biggest lead today for the Marion Knights. When we return, we'll be ready for the second offensive series for Judson here in quarter number 3.
Colorado won.
Did they?
Yeah.
Marlon Jennings takes the out route 66 yards to the house, and it is 31-6. Marion starting to pull away here in the third. Jared Schlinsky alongside Austin Anderson as Marlon Pomely set to kick off. This is a high kick. Nigel Bruce under it. Hauls it in the end zone, fakes the knee, and now takes a knee. And a late hit comes in. Very late hit. And this should give Judson the ball right around the 40-yard line.
You know you're in the wrong when 4 flags fly out on a play like that, and Judson's going to get a chance to get the offense going.
A positive on that first offensive series, even though the the Eagles were forced to punt. Jaden Hubbard, most comfortable he looked, found his go-to receiver today, Grant Alexander, 2 times on that drive, both for first downs. And I think the most encouraging part was it had been mostly checkdowns in the first half, but now you're seeing him stretch the ball down the field, and it's not just to the sideline. He's not afraid to take some shots over the middle either.
He has not, and that's been a good effort in this last drive, and really an opportunity to get this offense going, right? And you have seen Hubbard be able to find those receivers, gaining confidence within that 15, 20-yard range. Love to see him start to go deep a little bit, but, work your way up. Build that confidence. True freshman, first ever college game.
Jaden Hubbard on first down, drops back, has time, deep shot over the middle of the field. He finds his man in Alexander. Pitch and catch again. I can get used to that. Hubbard to Grant Alexander for 40-plus yards in double coverage. He still hauls it in.
Literally a second after say, hey, let's maybe build up on that offense. He goes to the deep ball. Gotta love it.
Quickly to the line go the Eagles at the Knights 25. Mackey trying to get off tackle. Can't get anywhere. Stuffed on the play by the outside linebacker, Lucas Hines.
Yes, a good effort there by Hines to make that play, and Judson trying to answer quickly with the run where they know that it's their bread and butter, but unfortunately they weren't able to get much there. But good stuff there by Judson to get them move the ball down the field.
Second down, Hubbard play action in trouble, hits as he throws again. Guess who? Alexander, and he couldn't hang on to it. Excellent coverage on the outside by the cornerback in Jay-Sean Underwood. But again, that throw on second down from Hubbard to Alexander, what a beauty.
It just found its way down the field, and great job to Justin, just a hair short by Alexander, and it let Judson to get inside the 25-yard line.
Trips to the near side, one to the outside. No Alexander on third down. Hubbard just throws it into the dirt. Looked like it was a miscommunication on the screen. And a flag comes in. This might be intentional grounding. There was no one there.
I was going to say, as soon as the throw happened, I was surprised it didn't come out right away because it was thrown to the tackle, and he was inside of the pocket. So that's about his textbook. Sure, let's go ahead and take a look at that. That's, how you take a look. Is he couldn't find one clearly in the pocket, just threw a piece of it, and it's going to lead to grounding.
It's going to be a loss of down and where he was when he threw the ball. And I think they got it right. I didn't see anyone in the area.
He just said third down. I thought it was already third down.
I thought so, too. It should be fourth down.
It should be fourth. But regardless, Judson's going to have another chance here. They're going to have to throw the ball a little bit deep here.
Well, the question is, do you maybe consider punting the ball?
There we go. So now the referee corrects himself and identifies that being a loss of down. So that's a very good opportunity now for Judson to be able to they have to throw it deep here. They got to go about 25 yards, or they're going to send the punting team back out. And it's certainly the way they've been punting the ball so far, this might not be a bad decision by any means. Keep pinning them back. Or are they just doing a different? Yeah, they're trying to.
There's no punter back there.
Yeah, Ian Wiggin was sitting on the sideline. He was not on the field.
Well, now he runs onto the field. I don't think he knew he was supposed to go.
It might lead to, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I saw him on the sideline. Felt like he was resting. I didn't know.
Delay a game. It actually might not be the worst thing in the world, and it gives him a chance now to have a higher chance of getting it inside the 20.
I'm trying to take a look at Coach Demps to see how the read of that, to see if that was how his mood is after that. I see him pretty stoic, so I think that was accidental, but again, I think he knows in the greater picture that this isn't that worst thing in the world.
Wiggin had a great punt previously. It was inside the 5. Jennings back to return. He's already got 2 touchdowns as a receiver. This one a little short but very high, and Jennings fair catches it at the 14. And that is where the Marion Knights offense will go to work. So, again, positive yardage, a beautiful pass, probably the best pass all day from Hubbard to Alexander on second down that covered 35 yards, but just not able to do enough on third down. Again, it's just been killer today for Judson, the inability to convert on third down.
Yeah, and that's been killer. You're absolutely right. I mean, now that's 2 or 3 drives now that have ended inside of the 45-yard line of Marion that just have led to punts because Judson hasn't been able to do too much offensively inside of that 40-yard line or so.
Yeah, 2 of 9 now on third down for the Judson Eagles. Here comes Nick Polk, the freshman who took over, or excuse me, the junior backup who took over for the starter the starter Zach Bundalo, who left with an injury. First down pickup is a nice run by William Gibson, who picks up about 15 on the play.
It's been interesting as the games progress. Both teams have kind of spread the ball on the running games too. I think they've kind of respected each other's defensive lines up the middle, and just seen that maybe doing a pull run might be the best route to get some more yardage.
First and 10 for the Knights from their own 27. Polk back to Gibson, rumbles forward, met by the Mike linebacker Bryce Harry, but he's going to get about 6 on first down. And I'm with you here. I think Marion's only intention from here on out is take as much time off the clock.
Run that clock down. You're up by 25. All things considered, I think you could have expected that they'd be up by 25 at this point, but the route to get to that 25-point game might be a little bit surprising for them. And unfortunately, both teams are down their starting quarterback. But if you're Marion's sake, you're just going to keep running ground and pound, and just try to end this game as soon as possible.
2nd and 6. Polk motions his receiver in closer towards the line of scrimmage. Gibson to his right, pushing the pile forward, and met right around the marker by Clifton Jemerson. His defense, like I said, outside of the previous drive where they had the big 66-yard touchdown run and catch by Jalen Jennings, they've done a really good job of keeping everything in front of them and getting pressure on the quarterback.
It's been a good effort, I think, for Judson on all facets of the ball. Yes, I mean, the score indicated they only put up 6 points, but, the yardage story isn't quite the same in that regard. They put up 200 yards of offense. They'd like to get a little bit more before this game ends, but they're hanging in there.
Off tackle run. Gibson has positive yardage out towards the 45, closer to midfield. And it's going to bring up 2nd and manageable. Just a good job, again, not only converting third down, but getting 5+ yards every time on first down.
And that was Marion's struggle about 4 minutes into that second quarter, when they started really struggling offensively. It was because they were just trying to pass the ball deep on that first down play and try to get that yardage. They're getting 4 or 5 yards now every single first down play, and that's just going to lead to numerous conversions.
2nd and 4, back to Gibson. And Gibson, not a whole lot there. We'll get a couple. Really good job on the outside by Bryce Heary and Joshua Williams. I've been impressed with this defense, but especially its front. They're not losing at the line of scrimmage. They're not winning every time, but it's about 50-50.
It is, and I think against this such a perennial powerhouse team in Marion, the 6th team in the nation, I think you take that.
Third and short. Gibson has the first, still on his feet, and into Judson territory at about the 42. A pickup of 10 and another third down conversion. They're converting third downs over 70% today.
And taking a look at that replay, you just saw the A-gap just explode open there on that handoff. There wasn't much effort that needed to be happening. Just a couple clean blocks, the center pushing a couple to the right. Just impressive stuff by the front offensive line, Marion.
Game clock under 2 minutes. The Knights really working the clock here. Back to Gibson. Gibson still on his feet. Here he meets him at about the 35. And this Knights team looked like it has no intention of throwing the ball maybe for the rest of the game.
No, and they're utilizing the newest rule in college football, which is a running clock after first downs, right? So that's something that they can just cruise their way to just running and killing maybe another 5 minutes on this drive still, as long as the play clock keeps itself going, right? And that's something that they got to work forward in.
Polk barely gets it to his running back on the give. It looked like it might have slipped out of his hand or turned his ankle, but William Gibson not able to get a whole lot there. And Gibson, the number 2 back, also a senior, getting a lot of the touches here in this third quarter.
Well, just an epic effort by the Judson defense to be able to hold him. And a great job there by the external linebacker to be able to make a play there and keep Marion in a third and long situation at the 38.
They do have to snap the ball. Play clock is down to under 5. The game clock under 30 seconds. Polk, play fake. Rolls right. Has time. Over the middle of the field. Has a man wide open. And it's caught for 6 by the receiver, Jake Reichard. But a flag on the play. Let's see if this is going to stand.
It doesn't appear to be based on the location of where everyone is at. I think there might have been an infraction on the line leading to maybe an open receiver there.
It might have been an ineligible man downfield. Yeah, let's get a replay of that one, please. You can see here on the replay, the center is a good 4 yards down the field.
That's a no-go.
Before it came out. It was a well-designed play, just off center, leaked out, maybe thought it was a screen, and there's no way 3 officials are going to miss that.
No, that's about as textbook of a call as they can have. Good effort there, and that's the one tough thing of running more of a modern style RPO option is that you're not always guaranteed to pass or run, but those linemen have to be reserved and they have to be able to hang back there until they know for sure what it's going to be.
So that negates the touchdown. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8 with 18.2 seconds. Polk back to pass, has a clean pocket, goes to the far side, caught, but not enough for the first down. First time today we've called Armani Glass's name. And now you got to ask yourself if this is 4-down territory.
I think it is if it's Marion. You have a chance to kill the clock here.
You don't even have to run a play,
no,
right? You might go into the 4th quarter with 4th down. But we'll keep it here as the Judson defense gets a stop on 3rd down. Now the question is, can they get the stop on 4th down? And they're bringing out the kicking unit. I wouldn't be surprised if they switch it up once the 4th quarter starts.
That would be a 51-yard field goal if they attempted. That would maybe you're in a position where you want to see if your kicker has that leg, you just go for it, or you go for the kick. But we'll see how that decides. Looking from left to right, trying to get a deciphering of the wind. The flags are very still. If anything, it's maybe slightly blowing from right to left. So maybe this actually makes it harder to kick it, but it's not going to make that much of a difference here.
We'll take a timeout here on the Judson Eagles streaming network. It's been all night in this quarter. 31-6 our score, but the Eagles a 4th down away from getting the ball back. We'll be back shortly here on the Eagles streaming network. start of quarter number 4. It's going to bring up 4th down for the Marion Knights offense, 4th and 4. Judson looking for the stop, down 31-6 in what has been all Knights in the second half. Polk drops back to the flat, and unable to haul it in is Gibson out of the backfield. This is going to be a turnover on downs and a huge stop by the Judson Eagles, who have done everything possible to keep this competitive.
Yeah, getting that 3rd down and 4th down stops has just been crucial for Judson now in this latter part of the game. And again, the offense, you'd love to have a few more points on the board, but with all things considered, you're down to your second quarterback. You're playing the 6th best team in the nation from the NAIA level. I think there's a lot to smile about if you're Quentin Demps. I'm sure deep down, at the heart of a champion, he wants to win every game. But I think there's a lot of good things you can look at after this week, looking forward into the next weeks.
New era for Quentin Demps and the Judson Eagles football program. Hubbard steps up in the pocket and somehow completes that pass to his tight end, Gabriel Brooks. And just to even get that ball back to the line of scrimmage was impressive.
Yeah, and you can just see on that play, as you take a very quick look, just the ability to get out of getting that potential sack and just keep that upper body strength to get that pass, well done, and a better job even by our replay team, Beacon Academy. Just incredible work today in production.
Nigel Bruce gets the touch on 2nd down, and he's into Knights territory after that pickup. A nice, solid pickup by, Brandon Mackey. We saw Nigel Bruce previous series. That's Brandon Mackey on 2nd down. As we are a minute here into the 4th. But Austin, let's talk a little bit about Quentin Demps and his coaching staff, led by offensive coordinators Byron Dawkins and Jesse Button. Been able to pick up positive yards, and they're not turning the ball over. Overall, I think that's a success considering you're on your backup quarterback.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things going on with Judson's offense and defense, and just seeing this new staff, some people coming from Training International staff where Quentin Demps was with previously. A lot of new faces, a lot of similar faces, but also, some mainstays, Jamie Herrickstein, among a few other names on the staff that are really making names for themselves here for Judson.
On the flip side, this is the first year for Ted Karras since he took over the team in 2007, won a championship with them in 2012. A pretty solid debut, if you ask me.
Well, he knows how to win, and he's allowing that opportunity to happen today for Marion. And it just seems like he's just pretty much inserting himself where the team was previously.
That pass a little bit too high from Hubbard to Will Nagel, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Again, these teams, not only do they have new head coaches, they both have new coordinators. That's not an easy transition, and I've seen some really good things from both sides of the ball.
There's been a lot of good things from both sides of the ball, and even Judson having some, making those transitions, bringing completely new faces to the team. Some coaches that remained on staff switched positions as well, so there's a lot of newness for the Judson coaching staff.
Hubbard chucks it deep on 3rd down, and just a little bit too far out in front of the tight end, Brooks. He throws a nice deep ball. That had some air and a great tight spiral, but just put it a little bit too far out there.
He did, but again, as you mentioned, Jared, that there is raw potential there. If he can just, it's almost like Judson between the top 2 quarterbacks has like the perfect quarterback, right? You have the agility and the deep ball of Hubbard, and Aiden Edwards is kind of like the low dart, slant kind of guy within 25 yards. If Hubbard can learn from Edwards, continue to learn how to throw that good slant ball, I could see this being potentially an all-conference level quarterback down the line during his 4 years here at Judson.
Couldn't agree more with you, Austin, as a couple incompletions is going to force the punting unit, Ian Wiggin, to punt to the right, takes a Judson bounce, keeps rolling, and did he go in the end zone? No, he didn't.
Wow.
He did an excellent job there of getting that at the 2. Ultimately was picked up by Damon Mueller, but an excellent job initially getting to the ball by Xavier Padilla.
Again, just not even knowing. Again, I've known Ian now for 2 years, and just being a super calm-mannered, solid athlete. I mean, it's not surprising he can't do anything else because he's just an incredible athlete. But I did not know he had precision punting in his repertoire. And again, that's 2 now inside the 5, 3 or 4 inside the 20. I mean, you're starting to look at special teams player of the week kind of mentality numbers there if you're Ian Wiggin.
And I think you also got to point out that it's probably safe to say Judson's not going to be able to come back from this one down by 4 scores. But, well, it's technically 3 scores. But the effort has not changed at all. The intensity. This team is still fighting as if they're in a tie ball game. First down, up the middle, not a whole lot there. And this Judson Eagles defense remaining stout.
Yeah, and Judson's just trying to, clamp down here defensively to try to limit the opportunities here for Marion now late in this ball game. But overall, again, I think there's pieces in this game. I mean, you look at the interior line, the linebacker specifically for Judson, as well as the secondary. There's been some good action today for the front guys.
Second down, give up the middle, big burst by William Gibson, and he could be off to the races, past midfield to the 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, over 90 yards, and it is now 37-6.
Yeah, that was quite the run on that handoff, and again, it was just the front line parting of the Red Sea. I do see a couple of officials talking. Doesn't seem to be any flags in the field, but again, just a parting the Red Sea up the middle. Good job by the front line, as we'll see here in the replay of that run. That was just impressive. As you see now, once he got past that first burst, he wasn't the fastest guy in the field, but he had just enough speed to go all the way. Good effort there by Judson to get even remotely close there. As you see a couple of guys, E.J. Glover among them, getting down the field. But now Marion has a chance to go up here by several scores. And there's a penalty against Judson for unsportsmanlike conduct. But again, if you're Judson, you're just trying to see if you can find a way to just kind of find, again, another positive drive. Try to see if you can get that offense feeling good going to the next week.
37-6. The PAT would make it 38. Good snap, good hold. The PAT is up and through, and it's no good, they say. 37-6. It stays with 12:36 to go. We're going to take a timeout here on the Judson Eagles streaming network. When we return, we'll be ready to resume fourth quarter action. Start of quarter. We resume the fourth quarter. 12:36 remains in this one. Marian en route to a 37-6 lead. Just got the big touchdown run from William Gibson of 94 yards. This Judson team has scored the last 24 points. Kick is underway and over the head of Nigel Bruce for a touchback, and the Eagles offense will go back to work from their own 25. This was a much closer game early on, especially in the first half, but since that special teams blunder on the blocked punt, Marion has not taken their foot off the gas, Austin.
Yeah, they have not, and it seems like Judson was right there for part of the game, and at one level, just considering the a brand new program still in the relative scheme of things versus a program that's now sixth in the nation. That could have been a fool's gold situation. But at the same time, you still have to be happy with a lot of the things that have happened today for Judson. And still 12 minutes left and find a way to see maybe that offense can put a touchdown drive together.
Again, both starting quarterbacks left with an injury. Aiden Edwards is on the sideline in a sling. Have not been able to see what Bundalo is, but he got hurt with an ankle injury on a sack late in the second quarter as this screen pass goes to the speedster Cathcart, who's still on his feet and all the way out to midfield on a pickup of 25 yards. Anthony Cathcart continues to make people miss, but no starting quarterback for either team, and the backup still being efficient with the football.
I love seeing Cathcart in the slot just break tackles and play so well for Judson. That's just an asset that we haven't seen from the slot position as receiver. Just good stuff for Judson.
Pickup of 27 officially, 1st and 10. Mackey doesn't get a whole lot there, out close to the 45 as the clock continues to roll under the 12-minute mark.
One thing that I haven't mentioned yet in the broadcast is that the coaching staff is styling today. They have matching black T-shirts with gold letters in the back identifying which coach. So Coach Q's got a Coach Q on his. Coach Booten has a Coach Booten, Coach Jake. I mean, we have just a styling, the coaching staff today for Judson. I love the taste and style for the Eagles.
Hubbard to Mackey to his left, cuts forward past the 40 and is going to set up 3rd and manageable as he was wrapped up from behind by Alex Griffith. Both teams have shown some depth, but the running game has just been so productive for both teams, especially this Marion team that is averaging over 5 yards per carry.
And I think Judson's going to build on this running game too. Mackey's been a stud, and they're looking for other backs to help as well.
3rd down, there's the big tight end who was split outside, Gabriel Brooks. He's got enough to move this stick.
You can see on that replay the pass to the left side. Good job of the tight end knowing his spot, being able to get a couple extra yards as well and put himself in 1st down territory.
Yeah, he knows how to use that big frame of his. Nigel Bruce tries to fight off a couple of guys, does not get a whole lot. Very impressed with some of the athletes on this team. Again, you talked about a lot of recruits from Texas. Gabriel Brooks, 6'1", 175. Play a little bit of tight end, wide receiver. He grows into his body. He could really be a nice player.
Yeah, I think there's several key freshmen. Again, the second, outside of the state of Illinois, the second largest recruit state of the school this year was Texas. And that's just a testament to Coach Demps infiltrating that area, finding the best talent possible.
Deep shot to the far sideline. No one there. He was in the pocket. That might be intentional grounding.
The referees might be talking this out. I see the head ref starting to head towards, and he's just trying to get the ball. I think they're going to let that one go. I don't see a call, but I think you're right, Jared. From the spirit of the rule, that it would be intentional grounding. I think that's just a mystery. I thought there was supposed to be a receiver down there, and I don't think he ever
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Eagles down 37-6. Hubbard with time. Drops it off. Mackey on the screen, but it's sniffed out. And it's going to bring up 4th down. Great read on hand by Dion Pettiford as he wrapped up Nigel Bruce immediately.
I mean, it ends up being a good read. I think that's absolutely the right description, but I think he kind of lucked into that good read. He was blocking another guy and then happened to see the running back just be right there. He's like, oh, I can just pivot and tackle him, right? And it ended up working out. But to be able to disengage from that block certainly takes some credit as well.
Next week, it'll be against Concordia, Michigan for Judson. They're going to make that trip. And Marion, they're going to be home against a top 25 team in the nation in St. Xavier, so it gets no easier for the Knights on the year. Wiggin to punt. Maybe his best boot today, but way too much mustard on that one into the end zone. And it's going to be Marion ball at their own 20. And just like the previous series, I imagine they're going to try and keep this thing on the ground as much as possible.
I would agree with that, Jared. And just from a perspective of Judson, it's going to be a long trip. I mean, Concordia Ann Arbor is literally on the other side of the University of Michigan, so it's going to be a nice trek for the Eagles heading next week to Ann Arbor, and the schedule doesn't get any easier. That's another top team. Judson the last 2 years has been, I guess, fortunate's the right term to have Madonna on their schedule, but unfortunately that is no more because you cycle every 2 years. You cycle through which opponents from the Eastern Division you play. And Judson got a pretty bad draw this year in both Marion and Concordia, Michigan.
We have a new quarterback in? I think we do. And it is the man we saw that closed out the first half, and that was the freshman from Ohio, Griffith. We'll get you his full name shortly. R.J. Griffin, excuse me. We saw him close out the first half. He did not start the second half. That was Polk. And now we're seeing Griffith in with what looks to be the third unit. And the running back is Keegan LaBelle. Second down, LaBelle trying to push his lineman forward. Gets out past the 30. And that's going to be enough to move the chains as the game clock hits under 8 minutes.
And again, the clock does not stop now after first down. It's a brand new rule in college football this year. It's much of the chagrin of a lot of purists. I personally, not to get too editorializing here, but I personally think college football compared to the NFL lasts a little bit longer, and I think kind of neutralizing that back towards the 3-hour mark is a good thing for the sport.
I agree with you. I don't think it'll make that much of a difference in terms of points per game, but it should speed up the game a little bit. Off tackle run for number 30 goes to Hunter Newman, who gets a couple before being wrapped up by E.J. Glover.
As you can see on that replay, just a handoff to the right side. A good attempt there by Glover to start the tackling, and then again from the second level, Judson's been pretty solid with those linebackers coming in and making plays. And again, that's something that the Eagles can build on defensively here in the weeks to come.
Second and short. Griffith back to the back.
There's a whole host of players.
Hunter Newman, a lot of new faces, a whole new offensive line as Hunter Newman lunges forward for a couple more yards. And this Marion Knights squad still putting them out there. You see Bundalo on the far sideline calling the plays. He's still in his pads. I'm not sure the extent of the injury, but it doesn't look to be too severe.
I mean, at this point, too, even if he was questionable, you don't play him up by 31 points. So I think it's a good learning experience on the sideline.
Third down. This time it goes to the other back. And stretching it to the far sideline, still on his feet, is LaBelle, who's going to take this one to the house. No! LaBelle ruled out of bounds around the 25. They are not going to give him the touchdown. And one of the officials, slow to get up, looked like he maybe tripped under his own feet.
Yeah, and something about, just kind of finishing my point about the, just kind of another point to that, having your quarterback call plays, it helps you even get more immersed in the offense. Dak Prescott in the preseason for the Dallas Cowboys was calling plays for his quarterbacks in week 2. And people said he called a pretty good game, right? So the more you get immersed with the offense, the better you'll be down the line. So it's a good effort there by the Marion sideline to try to think of how they can be effective down the line.
First and 10, some early movement. Let's see who this is on.
If I had it looked like it was on the right tackle there for Marion.
Be a 5-yard penalty against the Marion Knights. Haven't seen too many penalties across the board. Just tuning in, 37 to 6 our score. That last touchdown, they said the LaBelle was out at the 25, so it did not count. But this Judson team fighting hard till the end. Second down gets about 10. And a good pickup there is going to bring up second and manageable. Makes it another second and short. This ground attack has been busy all game today, and that's continuing to be the case here in the fourth quarter as Marion approaching 500 total yards on the day.
And they're doing it in methodical ways. They haven't, stretched you out too much. Yes, they've had the 2 or 3 touchdown runs of significant length, but they're just kind of finding their spots and moving the ball efficiently. It's a quiet 500 yards. That's even possible.
Newman again on the carry. Doesn't get a whole lot there, and this is going to bring up 3rd down.
Great tackle there for Judson on that play. As Jacob Callentine was able to, from the outside, be able to make that tackle and limit the damage there. A good shoestring tackle. And again, some depth on the Judson defense, which we haven't seen in previous years. I think it's going to make it a note for themselves. I mean, at the end of the day, 37 points maybe counting is a lot to give up. But again, this is a top 6 team in the nation. Judson's still in its 3rd year of its program officially. So, there's a lot to build from. And I think this year there will be some good moments as well down the line.
LaBelle pushes forward. Right around the marker was met by Bryce Heary. And we haven't really talked a lot about Heary today. Converted from DN to middle linebacker. He has shown some speed and that explosiveness that he had a year ago on the line. It looks like it's transferred over to the 2nd level.
When you have a passion for a game like football and you're willing to make those adjustments, for the most part, you tend to have that skill set to be able to transition positions well. And Heary, with that heart and hustle, is certainly an asset to the Judson defense.
3rd down. LaBelle to the right. Weaves through a couple of men, still on his feet, and taken down by Bryce Heary. And a flag in on the play, and LaBelle, who was brought down pretty hard, a little slow to get up.
I think it's going to be a lineman infraction, probably of a hold of some sort here, as the guard was able to pull his guy a little bit.
Well, Austin, I'll ask you this. You've done a lot of Judson games. I don't know how many top 10 teams you've done. Is this the best overall team you've seen so far in your 3 years of watching Judson football in terms of the opposition?
They're up there. I think the raw talent is up there. There were a couple of times last year where we saw some pretty good football. But yeah, I think you can just tell from sheer athlete size. I mean, these are all like D1 looking specimens, right? Maybe the skill set's a little bit different for some players, but from the talent-wise, they're very impressive for sure.
1st down. Give up the middle to Newman. He's out to the 20. And again, guess who was there? Bryce Heary and another veteran, Josh Mason.
Mason did a great job there of just keeping his space and limiting the space for the runners to go through. And sometimes you just have to use the size of who you are, right? Josh Mason is really a quintessential nose tackle, and he just uses his body size sometimes to limit the space available for the runners to go through.
2nd down and 17 with 2:20. Griffith has not had to throw the ball on this drive, and I don't see him throwing it for the rest of the game. Newman to the left, stretch run, cuts it back inside, still on his feet. Malik Rowe finally pushes him out around the 10 as the clock continues to run under 2 minutes.
That was a heck of an effort there. That heck of an effort on the outside. Seeing that run on the left side, just significant effort there. Nice job by the running back, Newman, who's the redshirt freshman, just, again, bouncing off that initial tackle there and just finding a route to the outside and eventually getting some yardage. Just a good effort overall.
Just a couple more plays as the play clock under 10. 1:20 to go. I would imagine maybe 2 more plays is all that's needed. This time they go to the right. Newman does not get a whole lot. Give credit to Judson. It's hot. You're not going to win down 37-6, but they are playing hard to the final snap.
I think there might have been a time. Oh, no, they're just spotting the ball. So they're going to let the clock run. But, again, as you mentioned, Jared, a good effort by Judson today. They only were able to get those 6 points, but they were able to move the football and get some yardage overall against Marion. Now a field goal attempt to try to get to the 40-point mark. But, in past seasons, this would be a 65, 70-point effort, and Judson's limiting Marion to just 40 points today, at most. That's a good effort.
45 seconds. Well, they're going to snap it early. The field goal up and good. It's been a solid day today for Marlon Pomely. He's made all 3 of his field goals, and that makes it 40-6 with 35.9 seconds. We're going to take a timeout. When we return, we'll be ready to wrap up the fourth quarter.
For sure.
Moments away from the end of this one. Our score 40-6 following the 24-yard field goal by Marlon Pomely. The Marion Knights now with 27 unanswered points. But give credit to the Judson Eagles, playing the number 6 team in the nation to begin the season. Quentin Dempsey's first year as a head coach. This team has played hard, and they've kept it fairly competitive for the most part. This one hauled in around the 15, up to the 20, to the 25, and all the way up to the 30. And I want to see what Judson does here with 30 seconds. You got some timeouts. I don't know if you'll use them. But overall, some really good things from this second team, especially the backup quarterback, Jaden Hubbard.
Yeah, a lot of good things. 30 seconds left now, right? So you don't have too much time. Do you just methodically run a couple plays and call it good? Do you try to, build on a few passes to the outside? There's a couple different mentalities you can do here. I mean, obviously the score is going to be a big win for Marion to, put a good start onto the season. But from Judson's perspective, you can see what you can try to do. It looks like they're going to try to get a few passes in with trips to the left and one to the right.
29.7 seconds remaining. Hubbard, the backup quarterback. Oh, no, we got a third-string quarterback and intercepted. The quarterback was John Odom. And Odom picked off on his only pass attempt.
Yeah, so there was a roughing the passer play that led to that.
Helmet to helmet there.
So that's Marion's lucky they didn't call targeting on that, because the helmet to helmet should be a default target in that regard. They just called roughing the passer, but from Judson's perspective, they have 23 seconds to try to get something going here.
My mic went.
But it looks like I'm going to take over play momentarily, as there was a run to the right side. Yeah, Jared's mic died. There's a run to the right side, and with 12 seconds left, that's going to about do it for today's game. And Judson's going to let the clock run out. So it is a 40-6 final. Marion with the victory. Certainly a dominant performance for Marion today, but Judson certainly had a few bright spots. So we're going to go ahead and give it a wrap-up here. For Jared Schlensky, I'm Austin Anderson saying so long. Your final score, Marion 40, Judson 6.
Yeah, I would have done a post-game for you.
That's fine.
I feel bad. I know you're good. All right. Well, I don't want you to think I'm taking it easy.
No. You're good. You did a heck of an effort. I got to run to a wedding reception, so I got to pack stuff. They're out of water. Oh, thank you. Yeah. You like blue games?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, the far right one. Play-by-play mic.
Like the box isn't.
That's right. Oh,
Nope. It was back for a minute. It might, yeah, I think.
You guys killed it again, like always.
What happened?
The mic died.
The box was powered.
Aren't those like the boxes?
we have tons of new ones. That's back. It's being weird. Some of our cables are like that. It's just
Power source